Chapter 3902. After the golden dragon lion heavily injured the 5 poisons dragon, it flipped over and the 3 golden dragon lions fused together, instantly condensing golden wind blades that continuously attacked the frost dragon. The frost dragon constantly urged the power of ice to display a 5th grade defensive dragon martial skill. Unfortunately, it was easily defeated by the opponent's golden wind blades. This frost dragon was even wearing a dragon weapon. After the power of ice defensive barrier was destroyed, a layer of purple scale armor quickly appeared on its body. It was a defensive dragon weapon that wanted to block the Sky Fiend's golden wind blades. Unfortunately, the Sky Fiend Golden Dragon Lion's golden wind blades were a 3-in-1 powerful technique. At this moment, even a divine martial realm dragon martial artist might not be able to withstand it, let alone these 2 Dragon Ascension realm dragon martial artists. In an instant, the 2 dragon martial artists were seriously injured. Kang Shinmu did not expect the situation to change so quickly, but this was a good thing for him, because it meant that he could take the golden dragon lion's life. However, he could not show the strength to kill the golden dragon lion in front of the 5 poisons dragon and the frost dragon. Go! Kang Shinmu saw the golden dragon lion's eyes looking at him, and immediately turned into a black dragon and flew away. How could the golden dragon lion allow its prey to escape? In any case, the 5 poisons dragon and the frost dragon were already seriously injured and could not run anywhere in a short time. The golden dragon lion immediately flew up, roared, and chased after Kang Shinmu. This made the 5 poisons dragon and the frost dragon heave a sigh of relief. From the looks of it, they had temporarily saved their lives. Let's go quickly. That kid definitely can't hold on for long. He's only at the 7th grade of the Dragon Ascension realm. I'm afraid the golden dragon lion will kill him in a few breaths' time. The 5 poisons dragon and the frost dragon gathered together, turned into human forms, and fled in the opposite direction as fast as they could. They did not think that Kang Shinmu could hold the golden dragon lion for long, and they did not think that Kang Shinmu could kill the golden dragon lion. It's too depressing for us to just leave like this. Why don't we find the other teams and tell them that the golden dragon lion is heavily injured? No matter what, we have to kill this bastard. The 5 poisons dragon had returned to its human form. It was a grey-robed young man with a gloomy face. At this moment, he was staggering, and his aura was weak. He had been severely injured by the golden dragon lion's attack, and he didn't have much combat power left. If he didn't kill the golden dragon lion, he wouldn't be able to calm down. There should be other hunter teams nearby. Let's look for them. It's best if they're not strong but can cooperate with us to kill that golden dragon lion. The frost dragon's human form was that of a handsome black-clothed youth. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth as he swallowed a healing pill. Just this pill alone was worth thousands of dragon coins. It wasn't something an ordinary person could afford. Coupled with the purple-scaled dragon soldier on him, this person was definitely in existence with great power. It was just that his combat power was a little weak. Of course, other than Kang Shinmu, other Dragon Ascension Realm dragon warriors would be very weak against a demonic beast of the golden dragon lion's level. It couldn't be said that the frost dragon was too weak. It could only be said that they were too stupid to consider the golden dragon lion's sky demon talent. Soon, the 2 dragon warriors searched around, trying to find a hunter team that could deal with the golden dragon lion. At this moment, Kang Shinmu had already lured the golden dragon lion more than 5 kilometers away. Still in the dense forest, Kang Shinmu suddenly turned around. Using the other party's extremely fast speed, he wrapped his black dragon body around the golden dragon lion's body, and his dragon claws pierced the hard armor under the golden dragon lion's mane. So hard. Unfortunately, the other party's physical body was too strong. Kang Shinmu's dragon claws couldn't penetrate it at all. At this moment, the golden dragon lion reacted. It raised its claws, and a golden wind blade swept towards Kang Shinmu. Just when the golden dragon lion thought that the golden wind blade could directly cut the black dragon's body into 2, a layer of demonic crystal appeared on the black dragon's body. This layer of demonic crystal was blackish-purple in color, and it actually deflected the golden wind blade. The golden dragon lion's weakness is below its abdomen. Kang Shinmu thought about the dragon lion demonic beasts he had seen in the past. He knew that for demonic beasts like dragon lions, the abdomen was the weakest place. Although this golden dragon lion had stepped into the sky demon realm, its weakest place was definitely below its abdomen. Kang Shinmu's black dragon body wrapped around the huge golden dragon lion tightly. His dragon claws had already quietly shifted to below the other party's abdomen, and then he rapidly stabbed down. The golden dragon lion was stabbed. Although the wound was very small, it was enough for Kang Shinmu. Devouring power, go! Pitch-black devouring power rapidly gathered on the black dragon's claws, and then it corroded the golden dragon lion's body. In a short period of time, it spread throughout the golden dragon lion's entire body. The golden dragon lion roared angrily. It realized that Kang Shinmu wasn't that easy to deal with, so it immediately activated its sky demon talent. The other two golden dragon lion avatars appeared nearby, and they constantly released golden wind blades that landed on the black dragon's body. Unfortunately, the earth-grade body tempering technique, the demonic crystal, made Kang Shinmu's black dragon body extremely tough. Even a sky demon like the golden dragon lion couldn't break through it in a short period of time. Most importantly, as long as the opponent couldn't break through the defense of the demonic crystal, Kang Shinmu could continuously devour to replenish the demonic crystal's defense through the devouring power. This way, the opponent would become weaker, and in the end, only death awaited him. The devouring power corroded. The golden dragon lion couldn't break free for a moment. Its body emitted an extremely terrifying golden radiance, and it condensed into a golden tornado that swept towards Kang Shinmu. Although Kang Shinmu was holding the golden dragon lion back, the black dragon's body was constantly being sucked into the golden tornado. The black and purple demonic crystal's defense was constantly being destroyed. Although the devouring power kept restoring it, it couldn't keep up with the speed at which it was being destroyed. As expected of a sky demon. With a thought, Kang Shinmu's black dragon body immediately flipped, and he directly turned around to the golden dragon lion's back. With this, the golden dragon lion blocked more than half of the golden tornado, and it wouldn't be easy for it to attack Kang Shinmu. The devouring power continued to devour. The golden dragon lion's strength also began to weaken. The two golden dragon lion avatars became weaker and weaker as Kang Shinmu continued to devour, and they even gradually began to dissipate. Kang Shinmu's demonic crystal happened to be completely destroyed at this moment. Countless black and purple demonic crystals shattered and fell to the ground. The golden tornado swept the black dragon's body, and instantly, countless pieces of flesh and dragon blood surged out. Devour. Chapter 3903. Kang Shinmu transformed into his black dragon form and fought the golden dragon lion to the death with his devouring power. In the dense forest of Dragon Bone Valley, both sides fought to the death. As the devouring power continued to surge into the golden dragon lion's body, Kang Shinmu gradually gained the upper hand. Even with the two golden dragon lion clones attacking Kang Shinmu continuously, they were unable to truly kill him. Therefore, with the devouring power, he could continuously recover. In contrast, the golden dragon lion continued to weaken. As time passed, a large portion of the golden dragon lion's flesh and blood essence was devoured by Kang Shinmu, and it became weaker and weaker. Even the two golden dragon lion clones were absorbed by the golden dragon lion in the end, recovering into a part of its body and strengthening its life force. However, this was completely inadequate. It was unable to replenish the flesh and blood essence that Kang Shinmu had devoured. In the end, the golden dragon lion's blood was completely devoured, and it fell to the ground. It could no longer move, and its heart no longer beat. It was completely dead. Kang Shinmu, who had transformed into the black dragon form, was now brimming with energy. It did not look like it had experienced a huge battle at all. After killing the golden dragon lion, he immediately snatched its dragon lion horn. After thinking about it, the golden dragon lion's fur was also very valuable. If he stripped off all the useful parts of the golden dragon lion, it would probably be worth more than 10,000 dragon coins. Anyway, it was just to deal with the golden dragon lion's corpse. It was not much trouble, so Kang Shinmu began to deal with the corpse. However, at this moment, a small team of dragon martial artists suddenly appeared from the surrounding forest. 2 of them were the Frost Dragon and the 5 Poisons Dragon from before. The 2 of them led a 6-man team of dragon martial artists to the place where the golden dragon lion had died. When they saw Kang Shinmu preparing to deal with the corpse, they were immediately overjoyed. The golden dragon lion is indeed here. Not bad. The bearded brawny man at the front laughed heartily, looking very happy. He did not think much of Kang Shinmu at all. However, how did the golden dragon lion die? Could it have been killed by this black dragon brat? The expression of the youth, who could transform into an ice dragon, changed slightly. He found it unbelievable. How could it be him? He is only at the 7th level of Dragon Ascension Realm. How could he kill a sky demon? The guy with the blood essence of the 5 Poisons Dragon snorted coldly. In that case, this golden dragon lion is ownerless. We can give you the dragon lion fur you want, but our team wants the other things of the golden dragon lion. The captain of the dragon warrior squad, the bearded brawny man, said unyieldingly. No problem. The youth with the frost dragon bloodline nodded. Looks like I've gained quite a lot from this operation. First, I obtained a dragon chi crystal. Now, I've obtained the corpse of a golden dragon lion. The dragon chi crystal is the most important reward. It's worth millions, and there's no market for it. I'm really lucky to be able to find it in Dragon Bone Valley. Once this dragon energy crystal is sold, everyone in our team will be able to rise to the next level. The members of the Dragon Warrior Squad said with a smile. This made the Frost Dragon and the 5 Poisons Dragon a little unhappy. Why could others obtain a treasure like the Dragon Chi Crystal, while they had to share the spoils of a golden dragon lion with others? However, they did not forget the fact that they were almost killed by the golden dragon lion, so they did not dare to say anything now. If they were to fight, the 2 of them would definitely not be a match for the Dragon Warrior Squad. As for this little black dragon, let's just get rid of it, lest news of us leak out. The bearded brawny man glanced at Kang Shinmu, a murderous intent flashing in his eyes. This made Kang Shinmu vigilant. Since the arrival of the other party, he had not made any moves. But now, he knew that he had to take action. Otherwise, he would most likely die here. The other party had no intention of letting him leave, and wanted to kill him and steal his treasures. Kang Shinmu quickly assessed the strength of the Dragon Warrior Squad. The bearded brawny man was in existence at the pinnacle of the Dragon Ascension Realm. As for the other 5 members of the squad, there was one at the pinnacle of the Dragon Ascension Realm, while the other 4 were at the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension Realm. If they joined forces, their overall strength was similar to that of the Golden Dragon Lion. However, if the Frost Dragon and the 5 Poisons Dragon were included, however, these 2 fellows were seriously injured by the Golden Dragon Lion previously, so they should not have recovered so quickly. Kang Shinmu thought. He had only been in Dragon Prison City for a short time, so he did not recognize the other party. Otherwise, he would have known that the squad led by the bearded brawny man was called Blood Edge, a famous plundering group in the Dragon Bone Valley. Of course, because the experts of Dragon Prison City would come to sweep the area from time to time, the Blood Edge did not have much time to move. However, every time the Blood Edge moved, they could kill many dragon warriors and plunder all their belongings. The dragon energy crystal that they mentioned should be what they had obtained after killing the other dragon warrior squads. However, Kang Shinmu had never heard of the dragon energy crystal, nor did he have any thoughts about it. The key was to survive in the hands of these fellows. In a head-on clash, Kang Shinmu's chances of winning were slim. I don't want this golden dragon lion anymore. You guys take it, I'll leave now. Kang Shinmu pretended to be flustered and quickly retreated into the dense forest at the back. He had the dragon lion horn on him, so if the other party did not chase after him, he would just leave. After all, killing these dragon warriors would not be of much benefit to Kang Shinmu. The main reason was that the risk was too great. If he were to clash head-on with the other party, Kang Shinmu would most likely die in battle. He was unable to withstand the joint attack of 8 powerful dragon warriors. Once he was entangled by the other party, there was only death. Even the devouring power could not save him. After all, he did not have many flaming beasts' demon cores left on him, so he could not continue fighting for too long. He wanted to retreat, but the dragon warrior squad was unwilling to do so. Want to run? Kill him. 2 dragon warriors at the 8th level of the Dragon Ascension realm, under the command of the bearded man, quickly chased after Kang Shinmu. Dragon transformation. Void flame explosion. One of the dragon warriors, who had inherited the flame divine dragon's blood essence, instantly transformed into a dragon and spat out a terrifying magma, which instantly fell on top of Kang Shinmu's head, and then exploded. Countless magma fell from the sky like a torrential downpour. Once shrouded by the magma, even Kang Shinmu would not be able to hold on. At this moment, Kang Shinmu transformed into a black dragon and did not continue to retreat. Instead, he charged towards the other party. This surprised the other party. Is this kid going to risk his life? Chapter 3904. Encountering such a situation, Kang Shinmu obviously had to fight with his life on the line. Since he could not escape, there was no need to. Previously, he had lasted so long in the hands of Lu Yufei, who was in the god martial arts realm. He was only rescued after Shi Yueying interfered. Now, there was no god martial arts realm existence in this group. Moreover, Kang Shinmu's strength was much stronger than before. As long as he killed 1 or 2 of them, he would be able to obtain the final victory. A 5th-grade offensive dragon martial technique, Roaring Sky Dragon Claw, instantly exploded. The black dragon claw clasped onto the Inferno Divine Dragon's body. In addition, Kang Shinmu bit the Inferno Divine Dragon's neck with his black dragon body, instantly tearing 2 wounds on the Inferno Divine Dragon's body. Devouring power. Above Kang Shinmu's dragon claws and dragon teeth, pitch-black devouring power continuously condensed and then eroded into the opponent's body. Before the opponent could react, he was entangled by Kang Shinmu, unable to escape. The key was that the Inferno Divine Dragon martial artist did not expect that Kang Shinmu would give up on escaping and turn around to fight him head-on. Devouring power. Just devouring the opponent's flesh and blood essence is still too slow to kill the opponent. I have to think of a way. Kang Shinmu was nervous. In order to kill this Inferno Divine Dragon martial artist as quickly as possible, he thought of a way. He urged the devouring power to gather towards the opponent's heart and dantian, devouring the energy in the opponent's heart and dantian first. He had not tried this before because the previous battles did not require him to kill too many enemies. But now, if he was too slow to kill the first dragon martial artist, he might die here later. Devour. The black dragon body that Kang Shinmu transformed into entangled the opponent, constantly tumbling in the dense forest. He quietly distanced himself from the other dragon martial artists, hoping to buy a little more time. However, the opponent would not be so stupid as to let him escape. All of you, let's kill that kid together. The bearded brawny man from Bloodblade territory reacted immediately and ordered his team members to surround and attack Kang Shinmu. However, at this time, they did not dare to use long-range attacks for fear of accidentally injuring their own people. 5 dragon warriors surrounded and attacked Kang Shinmu. On the other hand, he focused on devouring the Inferno Divine Dragon's life force and flesh essence. At the same time, the Inferno Divine Dragon unleashed its strongest resistance, and its entire body was covered in a layer of flames. With the appearance of this layer of raging flames, a layer of purple magic crystals also covered Kang Shinmu's black dragon body. For a time, Kang Shinmu's black dragon body resisted the scorching flames, not suffering the slightest bit of damage. The intensity of the opponent's raging flames was not even comparable to Shi Yueying's dragon martial technique, snowfall setting Sunday. For Kang Shinmu, he could endure this kind of attack for a long time. It really works. Very soon, Kang Shinmu felt that devouring the opponent's heart and elixir field had an effect. This way, although he could not devour all of the opponent's life force and flesh essence, it would only take him half the time to kill the opponent. The other dragon warriors approached cautiously, wanting to aim at Kang Shinmu before attacking. However, in a short time, the Inferno Divine Dragon that Kang Shinmu had bitten had begun to weaken. The flames covering the entire body of the Inferno Divine Dragon began to wither. The 5 dragon warriors surrounding Kang Shinmu could not be bothered to think too much when they saw that the situation was not right. No matter what, let's kill him first. It doesn't matter even if we hurt fourth brother. The other 5 dragon warriors used their tyrannical dragon martial techniques and attacked Kang Shinmu. All kinds of talent power surged towards him. Unfortunately, Kang Shinmu had completely gained the upper hand in the battle with the Inferno Divine Dragon. Block it for me. The black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into swung its tail and flung the body of the Inferno Divine Dragon away. It landed directly in the bombardment of the talent power of several opponents. The Inferno Divine Dragon let out a mournful roar as its entire body suffered heavy injuries. Previously, its heart and elixir field had been devoured by Kang Shinmu by more than half. Its life force was already extremely weak. Now that it was bombarded by the dragon warriors, it immediately lost its combat strength and fell heavily into the dense forest. Without hesitation, Kang Shinmu used the movement dragon martial technique of the void-piercing dragon shadow as fast as he could. The pitch-black body of the divine dragon instantly broke through the air and swept to the side of another Jade Rain divine dragon. Then, it bit down and fiercely clawed down. Be careful. The other 4 dragon warriors immediately warned. This Jade Rain divine dragon warrior was a woman. Her reaction was relatively slow. In a moment of carelessness, she was entangled by Kang Shinmu. The entire body of the Jade Rain Divine Dragon was dragged into the dense forest. Chase! The other 4 dragon warriors immediately caught up. A bunch of trash. The Bloodshed Lord, who was watching from afar, coldly snorted when he saw the situation. He turned into a golden silk divine dragon. Countless golden talent power condensed into silk threads and rapidly attacked the depths of the dense forest. Golden silk power. The divine dragon blood essence of the bearded man was very rare. This kind of talent power was extremely fast and had extremely strong penetrative power. It penetrated through the dense forest and quickly attacked Kang Shinmu. Kang Shinmu felt the pressure coming from behind. He kept circling in the dense forest. At the same time, the devouring power corroded the body of the Jade Rain Divine Dragon at the fastest speed, devouring the life essence of its heart and elixir field. The Bloodshed Lord's talent power instantly swept over. It was even faster than the other 4 dragon warriors. In an instant, it wrapped around Kang Shinmu and the Jade Rain Divine Dragon. With a pull, it actually blocked the momentum of the 2 divine dragons. The 4 dragon warriors caught up in an instant. All kinds of talent power condensed, and the dragon martial technique continuously swept over. They did not even care about the life of the Jade Rain Divine Dragon. So ruthless? Kang Shinmu was a little surprised. But on second thought, perhaps the other party had some internal strife. The value of the dragon energy crystal was too high. Although he did not know how they obtained it, it might be because of this that they disregarded the lives of their companions and attacked brazenly. No matter what, this was a good thing for Kang Shinmu. This was because he could use the other party's companions as a shield, and he could continuously devour. Even if he was injured, he could recover quickly. The devouring power had once again become his trump card. Under the circumstances where the other party was unaware of the situation, such indiscriminate bombardment could only kill their own people, and was unable to cause any effective harm to Jiang Shenwu. Not long after, the Jade Rain Divine Dragon completely lost its life under the indiscriminate bombardment of the dragon martial skill. Chapter 3905. Genius 1 second. Remember, if you want to go. Say net, providing you with wonderful novels to read. I say, can you do it? Don't let a mere 7th layer Dragon Ascension Realm kid kill you. The youth with the Frost Dragon's blood essence said indifferently. He and the 5 poisons dragon stayed where they were, restraining the leader of Blood Edge. The bearded brawny man also couldn't get away. Otherwise, once he left, the golden dragon lion's corpse would definitely be taken away by these 2 guys. You guys go and help? After the dragon chi crystal is sold, you guys will get 5%. The bearded brawny man said in a deep voice. The elegant youth chuckled, only 5%? Then I'd rather not. The bearded brawny man sneered, just a 7th layer Dragon Ascension Realm brat, how much do you want? Even 5% of the dragon chi crystal is worth 40 to 50,000 dragon coins, much more than the golden dragon lion. If you give me 10%, I'll help. Otherwise, there's no need to talk. The elegant youth bargained shamelessly. Then you'd better continue to watch. The bearded brawny man's face darkened. It was impossible for him to get 10%. 2 of Blood Edge's companions had already died in the hands of Kang Shinmu. This time, the loss was not small. Although it could be divided by 2 people, it might not be a good thing for Blood Edge. If another member of Blood Edge died, it was hard to say whether they could regroup and carry out the next operation. His golden thread power quickly dragged the Jade Rain Divine Dragon's corpse back. As for Kang Shinmu, he took the opportunity to escape and flashed into the dense forest. Such a fierce battle, that brat must have been injured. No matter how strong he is, he won't be able to hold on for long. Continue to chase. The 4 dragon martial artists quickly chased in the direction Kang Shinmu fled. However, what they didn't know was that Kang Shinmu was now in his peak state, and because he had devoured the Inferno Divine Dragon and the Jade Rain Divine Dragon, he had a certain resistance to the power of fire and the power of Jade Rain. Apart from the power of Jade Rain, the most important thing was that one of the remaining 4 dragon martial artists had flame control talent. In other words, for Kang Shinmu, the main threat was the other 3 dragon martial artists. Kill. Since things had reached this point, the situation was very good for Kang Shinmu. There was no need for him to retreat. If the other party wanted to kill him, then they would have to pay the price. The bearded leader of the Bloodshed Divine Dragon faced off against the Frost Divine Dragon and the 5 Poison Dragon, restraining each other. For the time being, he did not dare to attack Kang Shinmu. Even if he used the power of the golden threads from afar, he would not be able to hurt Kang Shinmu too much. At most, he would be able to restrict his movements slightly. He traversed through the dense forest and suddenly returned to his human form, hiding on top of a giant tree. When the other party's 4 divine dragons flew past the 2 sides of the giant tree without alerting him, he once again transformed into a dragon and suddenly appeared, wrapping himself around one of the raging thunder divine dragons. Die. 10,000 wild thunder strikes. That dragon martial artist suddenly erupted, and the terrifying power of wild thunder erupted from his body like a volcano, instantly covering the entire body of Kang Shinmu's black dragon body. The power of this attack was extremely terrifying, and even Kang Shinmu's purple magic crystal could not withstand it. The purple magic crystal on the surface of the dragon body cracked inch by inch, and then the endless power of wild thunder fell on Kang Shinmu's black dragon body, instantly charring it and emitting the smell of barbecued meat. Devour. Although Kang Shinmu suffered endless pain, he did not care too much. After devouring the 2 monster cores of the flame demon beasts, he directly entangled the raging thunder divine dragon and used his dragon claws and dragon fangs, trying to create wounds on the other party's body. However, this raging thunder divine dragon was in existence at the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm. Although he had not stepped into the divine martial arts realm, his overall strength could not be underestimated. The web of wild thunder directly condensed on the surface of his dragon body, and if Kang Shinmu wanted to create wounds on the other party's body, he had to endure the attack of the web of wild thunder. Enduring endless pain, Kang Shinmu's dragon claws and dragon fangs were even charred by the lightning, but he still did not give up. Relying on the monster cores of the flame demon beasts, he constantly recovered from the electric shock with his dragon claws and dragon fangs, and then continued to attack the other party. Soon, he finally withstood the attack of the web of wild thunder and created 2 small wounds on the other party's body. Even so, it was enough for Kang Shinmu. Devouring power. The pitch-black devouring power instantly poured into the other party's body through the wounds. This power, this raging thunder divine dragon martial artist felt the devouring power corroding his body, and immediately realized that something was wrong. That power corroded the heart and divine dragon Dantian in his body at the fastest speed, and then seemed to produce extremely terrifying destructive power. He's absorbing my power. He's absorbing my flesh and blood essence. The raging thunder divine dragon suddenly woke up, and then roared, "Everyone be careful, this kid can devour our power. Maybe he can use it for his own use, and even achieve the effect of rapid healing." When the other 3 dragon martial artists heard this, their expressions changed greatly. What kind of strange talent was this? How come they had never heard of it before? Die. No matter what, Kang Shinmu would not let these guys go. Moving through the dense forest, the 2 sides were constantly fighting, but they could not get rid of Kang Shinmu. The black dragon's body tightly wrapped around the raging thunder divine dragon. Even if it was constantly bombarded by the power of wild thunder, it did not care. In just a few breaths, Kang Shinmu had already devoured a lot of the life essence near the other party's heart, causing the other party to become extremely weak. At the same time, Kang Shinmu also developed a lot of resistance to the power of wild thunder. Third brother. Hold on. The other 3 dragon martial artists kept thinking of ways to deal with it. At this time, they did not dare to casually attack, because with the previous 2 companions, they found that the black dragon boy was actually unharmed, and they knew that the indiscriminate bombardment would not have the slightest effect. The 3 divine dragons' bodies flew over, and with tyrannical strength, they pulled the black dragon's body. At close range, the other party could accurately attack Kang Shinmu's black dragon body with dragon martial skills, so they were not afraid of accidentally injuring their companions. Void Flame Explosion. Giant Stone Dragon Seal. Blazing Sun Divine Explosion. The 3 of them each activated their tyrannical dragon martial skills, and in an instant, it landed on the black dragon body that Kang Shinmu had transformed into. A terrifying power exploded in an instant, completely shattering the magic crystal covering the entire black dragon body. Then, the entire black dragon body was pressed down by the remaining power of the giant stone dragon seal, and was almost broken into 2. Get out of my way. The eyes of the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into revealed a crazed look, and the black dragon body flew out in an instant, dripping with dragon blood, but it did not hinder Kang Shinmu's speed at all. The raging thunder divine dragon had been killed by him, but he was also seriously injured. Devour. After temporarily leaving the battle, Kang Shinmu once again began to devour the demon core of the flame magic beast. He wanted to recover as quickly as possible, and then he could continue fighting. Chapter 3906. As the demon core of the flame magic beast was wrapped by Kang Shinmu's devouring power, the injuries on his body quickly recovered. At the same time, the other 3 dragon warriors finally caught up, only to discover that the wounds on the black dragon's body had actually scabbed over in a short period of time, completely recovered. What kind of terrifying recovery ability is this? No, if this goes on, we will all die in his hands. The remaining 3 dragon warriors were not fools, they immediately realized this point. Then, without hesitation, they turned around and left with their backs facing Kang Shinmu. They realized that they had to rendezvous with the boss and the others and join hands to fight, otherwise their side would definitely lose. Kang Shinmu's eyes were filled with killing intent. Seizing the opportunity when the other party turned around and retreated, he instantly turned around and under the sky-piercing dragon's shadow, he grabbed one of the Umber Divine Dragons at the fastest speed. The other party wanted to turn around and escape, but he didn't expect Kang Shinmu to be so decisive. He was immediately pulled down by a huge force, entangled with each other, and fell heavily into the dense forest. When the other two dragon warriors saw this, they completely ignored it and directly fled. Because 3 of their companions had died so far, they had already developed a fear of Kang Shinmu. The other party wanted to run, but Kang Shinmu would not let them go so easily. At this point, since you want to kill me, then be prepared to be killed. Kang Shinmu breathed a sigh of relief. At first, he wasn't sure if he could win, but now he knew that victory was in sight. The main reason was that the other party hadn't gathered together to deal with him, otherwise, his chances of winning were slim. He had killed a flame divine dragon warrior at the beginning, and there were still 3 dragon warriors who hadn't participated in the battle, so the result was obvious. Spare me, spare me. If you let me go, I promise I won't cause trouble for you in the future. The Umbra divine dragon that was entangled by Kang Shinmu immediately begged for mercy. He was only at the 8th level of the Dragon Ascension realm, and just now, even his companion at the 9th level of the Dragon Ascension realm had died in the hands of this black dragon boy, so he was very sure that he was not Kang Shinmu's opponent. At this moment, he was incomparably regretful. If he had known earlier, he would have just let the other party go. Why did he have to chase after him and try to kill him? He didn't expect to kick an iron plate, and even his own life was in danger. Kang Shinmu couldn't be bothered with the other party's pleas. He had already condensed his devouring power, and it surged into the wounds that were constantly being torn open. This guy's shadow force defense was very strong, but it was a pity that the barrier was directly swallowed by the devouring power. Devouring power. It can even devour defensive barriers. After many battles, Kang Shinmu finally confirmed this point. However, it was only effective against opponents whose cultivation base was not too high. For example, he could not devour the Raging Thunder Divine Dragon's Raging Thunder barrier. However, the Shadow Dragon in front of him, which was at the 8th level of the Dragon Ascension realm, tried to condense a Shadow Force barrier to defend, but it was directly devoured by Kang Shinmu's devouring power. Die. However, after 10 breaths, the devouring power had already devoured more than half of the other party's flesh and blood essence. Among them, the essence of the heart and the divine dragon's dantian was completely devoured, leaving not a trace behind. No matter how much the shadow dragon struggled, it could not escape from Kang Shinmu's devouring power. In the end, it died with its eyes wide open. There are 5 left. One of them is even an Inferno divine dragon that is not a threat to me. 1 against 4, the odds of winning are very high. Kang Shinmu directly searched the shadow dragon's corpse, and unexpectedly found more than a dozen monster cores of various monster beasts, which were still very useful to him now. He directly began to devour one of the monster cores, and then transformed into the form of a black dragon, flying back in the direction of the golden dragon lion's corpse. I was wrong. The bearded brawny man was forced into a dead end. He used the infinite power of golden threads to entangle the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into, but he could not stop the devouring power from corroding him at all. Everyone else present had already been killed. At this moment, Kang Shinmu had transformed into a black dragon, and his entire body was flowing with divine dragon blood. He had nearly died in the battle against the 3 dragon martial artists just now. Fortunately, the monster cores he had just obtained were of use, allowing him to quickly recover from his injuries after he devoured them. In the end, only he and the bearded brawny man were left. As for the bearded brawny man, he was indeed the strongest in the entire bloodshed organization. His innate talent, the power of golden threads, had greatly restricted Kang Shinmu, and his destructive power was also very terrifying. Otherwise, Kang Shinmu would not have been so heavily injured. It's a pity that the 2 fellows who fought the golden dragon lion at the beginning actually ran away. Kang Shinmu thought. The elegant young man with the frost dragon's blood essence and the 5 poisons dragon had already run away when he returned. Obviously, they had felt the strength of Kang Shinmu and knew that if they fought with him, they were likely to lose and die. At this time, they already knew that the entire golden dragon lion was killed by this black dragon boy. How could they still dare to have any ideas about Kang Shinmu? This boy seemed to be only at the 7th layer of the Dragon Ascension realm, but in fact, he had a combat strength comparable to the 1st layer of the Divine Martial realm. They absolutely could not fight him head-on. Therefore, they ran away again. Leaving behind the Bloodshed territory, the bearded brawny man and the other 2 members of the Bloodshed to deal with Kang Shinmu together, but Kang Shinmu had already killed the other 2, leaving only the bearded brawny man. Even though he had urged the power of golden threads to the extreme, he could not stop Kang Shinmu from devouring him. Bathed in bright dragon blood, the black dragon seemed to be the most terrifying existence in the world. No matter how many injuries he suffered, he could heal in a short period of time and then burst out with a stronger combat strength. This characteristic of getting stronger as he fought allowed him to kill all the members of the Bloodshed territory, and after the battle, he would still be in his peak state. You shouldn't have made a move in the first place. Since you have made a move, then go to hell. Kang Shinmu was not a benevolent person. Once he was lenient, the other party was likely to take the opportunity to counterattack, and at that time, he would be the one to die. Therefore, those who attacked him must die. The purple magic crystal on his body emerged again, constantly resisting the attack from the opponent's innate golden thread power. As the opponent became weaker and weaker, the power of golden threads could not even pose a threat to Kang Shinmu. Die! With a loud shout from Kang Shinmu, the golden silk dragon of the bearded brawny man completely fell to the ground, the essence of his flesh and blood was completely devoured, and his breath was completely cut off. After a fierce battle, Kang Shinmu returned to his human form, gasping for breath. No one could imagine that a mere 16-year-old boy had the terrifying strength to kill the entire Bloodshed territory. Especially since he was only at the 7th layer of the Dragon Ascension realm. Although I don't know what the Dragon Chi crystal is, since I have made a move, there is no reason to let it go. Chapter 3907. Kang Shinmu quickly found a crystal emanating rich spiritual energy from the remains of the muscular bearded man's dragon corpse. The crystal was about the size of a fist and was translucent. There were faint images of mystical dragons within it, exuding the aura of mystical dragons. This dragon chi crystal, it's similar to the aura of the flame dragon altar when I obtained the essence blood of the mystical dragons. Kang Shinmu's heart skipped a beat as he secretly guessed the connection between the two. No matter what, this must be a rare cultivation resource. What changes will there be if I absorb all the spiritual energy within? Kang Shinmu pondered as he observed his surroundings. Clearly, he could not absorb the Dragon Chi crystal quietly in a dangerous place like Dragon Bone Valley. If any accidents happened during the absorption process, he would not be able to withstand it. It was too risky. I can either go back and try again, or find a safe place first, Kang Shinmu pondered carefully. He felt that if he absorbed this Dragon Chi crystal, he would be able to improve himself. Just the rich spiritual energy within would probably allow him to raise his cultivation by 1 level, not to mention the aura of the mystical dragon essence blood. He transformed into a black dragon and flew out of the Dragon Bone Valley. Dragon Bone Valley was a habitat for demonic beasts released by the Dragon Prison City. Demonic beasts would basically not appear outside Dragon Bone Valley. Otherwise, they would definitely be killed by the dragon martial artists of Dragon Prison City. Soon, Kang Shinmu left Dragon Bone Valley. In a quiet mountain range outside Dragon Bone Valley, he found a relatively deep cave. There were no living creatures in this cave. It was naturally formed. After Kang Shinmu entered, he destroyed the cave entrance and hid himself in the cave, preparing to absorb the spiritual energy within the Dragon Chi crystal. He did not act rashly. Instead, he stayed in the cave for 2 days to ensure that there were no other living creatures around and that there was no danger. Only then did he start to absorb the Dragon Chi crystal. This so-called Dragon Chi crystal is worth more than 1,000,000 dragon coins. It is even more valuable than the Chitian spirit grass. It will definitely help me increase my cultivation. Maybe it has other uses, Kang Shinmu thought. He was not sure of the specific effects of the dragon chi crystal, but he knew that this thing was definitely beneficial to the dragon warrior. Even the black dragon's consciousness hidden in his body gave him a vague urge to devour the dragon energy crystal as soon as possible. Since that's the case, let's devour it. Kang Shinmu gathered a pitch-black devouring force in his hand and covered the dragon energy crystal. Using the devouring force, he started to devour the spiritual energy within the dragon energy crystal. As streams of rich spiritual energy entered his body, Kang Shinmu even felt the divine dragon blood essence in his body start to boil. This was due to the aura of the divine dragon blood essence in the dragon energy crystal. However, very quickly, Kang Shinmu realized that the aura of the divine dragon blood essence in the dragon energy crystal was also devoured by his devouring force and integrated into his bloodline. This caused the bloodline in his body to become even denser, and the devouring power that covered the dragon aura crystal also became darker and darker, giving off a feeling that seemed to come from hell. The divine dragon blood essence has actually improved. Kang Shinmu was in disbelief. Devouring the dragon energy crystal was like devouring many divine dragon corpses, causing the grade of his divine dragon blood essence to improve. Previously, his divine dragon blood essence had already advanced from the level of a mortal dragon to the level of a true dragon. However, it had not been used for a long time. From the hidden black dragon's consciousness, he could feel that even if he devoured some of the corpses of a true dragon, there would not be much improvement. It was much more difficult to raise the grade of the divine dragon blood essence from a true dragon to a heavenly dragon than from a mortal dragon to a true dragon. However, with the help of this dragon energy crystal, the grade of his divine dragon blood essence was actually increasing at an extremely fast speed. This speed is too terrifying. It is equivalent to me devouring the corpses of the dragon martial artists who inherited the blood essence of the heavenly dragon. At this rate, I will probably become an inheritor of the heavenly dragon blood essence in less than a day. However, the power contained in this dragon energy crystal doesn't seem to be that much. It has only been a while, but I have already devoured 1/5 of its power. Kang Shinmu felt that it was a pity. If he had more dragon energy crystals, he would be able to become an inheritor of the heavenly dragon blood essence. Unfortunately, this dragon energy crystal alone was obtained after killing so many powerful dragon martial artists. It was almost impossible for him to obtain more. Although this item could only be bought with 1,000,000 dragon coins, he might not be able to find a buyer no matter how many dragon coins he had. I have never heard of the dragon energy crystal before. I did not get any news about it in Dragon Prison City or the Shi residence. Combined with what the dragon martial artist said, this dragon energy crystal is probably something that has a price but no market. Even so, Kang Shinmu was extremely excited. This was because as he continued to devour spiritual energy, his divine dragon body was changing again. The ascending dragon realm was also known as the ascending dragon 9 transformations. The divine dragon body could continuously strengthen along with the increase in cultivation and combat power. The hidden black dragon consciousness did not appear again. However, Kang Shinmu knew that this fellow could not possibly disappear. It must be in his body now, feeling his development. He did not know what connection this black dragon had with his father, Jiang Zizai. Break for me. Following Jiang Shinwu's furious bellow, his entire body transformed into a black dragon in the cave. Then, there seemed to be a stream of black light brushing past the surface of his dragon body, causing his entire body to seem to be bathed in a pitch-black light. The transformation of the 8th tier of the ascending dragon realm is speed. Jiang Shinwu sensed that as the surface of his dragon body glowed with a pitch-black flowing light, he flew through the air as if there were no air obstructions, allowing his speed to increase by at least 2-fold. Moreover, this was in his normal state. If he used a movement-type dragon martial technique, the effect would be even more obvious when his speed increased. If I can cultivate the void-piercing dragon's shadow to the earth level, my speed will be absolutely invincible among my peers. Kang Shinmu had this confidence. Unfortunately, the movement-type dragon martial technique was not so easy to improve. Until now, Kang Shinmu had only managed to maintain the void-piercing dragon shadow at the human level. If he wanted to improve it to the earth level, there was still a long way to go. As he finished devouring the power of the dragon energy crystal, he stepped into the 8th tier of the ascending dragon realm. At the same time, the grade of his divine dragon blood essence increased by about 1/3. Chapter 3908. When Kang Shinmu left the cave, he had already advanced to the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm. He was only one step away from the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm. If he could obtain some more heavenly and earthly treasures, he should be able to step onto that level before the clan martial competition. However, good things like dragon aura crystal stones were not so easy to obtain. At the same time, the grade of his divine dragon essence blood had also increased. Although it had not reached the sky dragon level, it had also made his devouring power stronger than before. If the Kang Shinmu before devouring the dragon energy crystal required 10 breaths of time to kill a dragon martialist of the same realm, then he only needed 7 or 8 breaths of time now. Although it was just a small difference, it was enough to determine life and death at times. Continue to Dragon Bone Valley and complete the other 2 individual demon hunting missions. Kang Shinmu continued flying in the direction of Dragon Bone Valley. Soon, he saw the dense and lush valley covered in dense forests. Roars of demonic beasts could be heard coming from the Dragon Bone Valley. I wonder where the giant frost dragon and the 5 poisons dragon went. Kang Shinmu was a little puzzled. He had originally thought that the other party would secretly follow him, but they had not appeared for the past few days. They had most likely left. It seemed that after getting rid of the dragon martialist group, those 2 fellows had become fearful and did not dare to have any ideas on Kang Shinmu. However, Kang Shinmu still maintained his vigilance. As long as the other party was not dead, they could appear at any time. Once they appeared, Kang Shinmu would not let them escape. No matter what, he had to kill them. When Kang Shinmu stepped into Dragon Bone Valley again, he did not know that there were many dragon martialists in the valley looking for him. This was because the Frost Dragon and the 5 Poisons Dragon had actually come to Dragon Prison City in the past 2 days and spread the news that a Black Dragon Kid had stolen a Dragon Aura Crystal. As a result, more and more people came to Dragon Bone Valley, wanting to kill the Black Dragon Boy. Its characteristic was that a purple magical crystal would appear on the surface of the dragon's body during battle, and it would be around the 7th layer of the Dragon's Supreme Realm. However, it was also possible that it would be promoted to the 8th layer of the Dragon Supreme Realm. After all, a dragon warrior could improve at any time in the Dragon Supreme Realm. As a result, more and more dragon warriors came to Dragon Bone Valley. Even some demon beasts were chased into the depths of Dragon Bone Valley, not daring to stay outside. It's said that the Black Dragon Brat has the strength to kill a Sky Fae Golden Dragon Lion all by himself. Not bad, this level of strength is terrifying. It's hard to believe that he's only at the 7th layer of the Dragon Ascension realm. No matter what, once he encounters us, that Black Dragon Brat will die. This time, for the sake of the Dragon Chi Crystal, too many dragon warriors have been mobilized. Hundreds of powerful dragon warriors, including some in the Divine Martial Realm, had come to Dragon Bone Valley. It was obvious how attractive the Dragon Energy Crystal was. Unfortunately, no one knew that the Dragon Energy Crystal had already been devoured by Kang Shinmu. When he arrived at the Dragon Bone Valley, he realized that the number of dragon warriors in the valley had increased significantly. Moreover, looking at their movements, they did not seem to be here to hunt demon beasts. Could it be? Kang Shinmu squinted his eyes. He immediately realized that it was the 2 fellows who had run away earlier who had spread the news of the Dragon Energy Crystal and attracted so many dragon warriors. How boring. You won't let others get what you can't get? Kang Shinmu's eyes were filled with murderous intent. If he met those 2 fellows again, he would kill them without a doubt. Originally, Kang Shinmu had wanted to work with them to kill the Golden Dragon Lion. He could just take the Dragon Lion horn that they did not need, but the other party had stubbornly refused to cooperate. In the end, it had come to this. Because they were jealous that he had obtained the dragon energy crystal, they had attracted so many dragon warriors to kill him. No matter what, Kang Shinmu bore a grudge against those two fellows. Now, he could not continue to stay in Dragon Bone Valley. Otherwise, if he was discovered by other dragon warriors, he would definitely die. No matter how strong he was, he could not face the encirclement of hundreds of dragon warriors at the same time. However, just as he was about to leave Dragon Bone Valley, he suddenly felt a familiar aura. He had felt this aura not long ago. It came from a divine martial realm dragon warrior, Lu Yuefei. It was the group that had wanted to kill Kang Shinmu and the others in the lava mountain range for the first time. That Lu Yuefei was a divine martial realm dragon warrior. Moreover, Kang Shinmu's dragon tail had been cut off by that guy once, so he was very familiar with the aura of his talent. He's actually heading this way. Isn't this place a dead end? There are mountains on all sides. Kang Shinmu followed the aura of Lu Yuefei's talent, and as he advanced, he found that the other party had actually come to a valley blocked by mountains on all sides. Then, he found that Lu Yuefei's aura had actually disappeared on one of the mountain walls. Could it be that there is another world here? If not for following Lu Yuefei's aura, Kang Shinmu would definitely not have found this place. This also meant that the other dragon warriors most likely did not know of this place. In that case, I will go in together and see what Lu Yuefei is up to. A fierce look flashed in Kang Shinmu's eyes. I was almost killed by him in the past, but now that I have improved a lot in the Shi clan mansion and have just devoured the dragon energy crystal, my strength is different from before. Even if Lu Yuefei is a little stronger than before, he is still no match for me. After thinking it through, Kang Shinmu followed Lu Yuefei's aura and directly approached the mountain wall. Soon, he found that this side of the mountain wall was actually just an illusion. In the center of the mountain wall, there was actually a cave, but it was concealed by the illusion, making it impossible for people to find it. This illusion was extremely exquisite, even an expert of the divine martial realm would not be able to find it from afar. How did Lu Yuefei find out? This place might be the gathering place of Lu Yuefei's group, and there might be other divine martial realm dragon warriors here. We must be careful. Kang Shinmu was constantly on guard, and then directly passed through the layer of illusion and entered the mountain wall. Then, he found that it was a very simple cave, but the cave continued to lead downwards, and the illusion at the entrance of the cave was definitely not something that an ordinary person could set up. There is actually an aura of divine dragon bones coming from the bottom of the cave. Rumor has it that Dragon Bone Valley was the battlefield of the dragon warriors a long time ago, and that countless dragon warriors were buried here. It seems that this is indeed the case. This cave is a path that leads to the ancient battlefield, but someone has concealed it with an illusion. Chapter 3909. Kang Shinmu followed the cave and flew downwards. He soon discovered that there was no one guarding the path, as if they were very confident in the illusion at the entrance. But if not for Kang Shinmu sensing Lu Yuefei's aura, no one would have known that there was a cave in the hidden area, and that it was an entrance to the ancient battlefield. I wonder how many dragon warriors are hiding here. Kang Shinmu continued flying downwards. He soon discovered that there were forks in the cave, but each fork emitted a rich aura of divine dragon bones. To Jiang Shenwu, these divine dragon skeletons were like bright lights that illuminated the path ahead. This was because as long as he devoured these divine dragon skeletons, the grade of his divine dragon essence blood could be raised, and he might even step into the heavenly dragon realm. The sky dragon level was already the strongest existence in the Jiang tribal clan. As long as he stepped into the sky dragon level, with the power of devouring, he could quickly surpass his uncle, Jiang Rong, and pull Jiang Rong down from the position of Jiang tribal clan leader. Originally, he had no objections to Jiang Rong becoming patriarch. But Jiang Rong wanted to kill Kang Shinmu, which made it impossible for Kang Shinmu to forgive him. I'll just randomly choose one of the forks. Kang Shinmu continued flying downwards into the cave, and soon he heard a whistling wind coming from ahead. It was like the sound of a dragon warrior flying in a narrow space. In other words, it was the same sound that Kang Shinmu was making as he moved forward in the cave. Kang Shinmu had discovered the other party, and the other party must have discovered Kang Shinmu. Let's finish this quickly. Although Kang Shinmu did not know who the other party was, he felt that the other party was not very strong. He should be able to finish them off in a short period of time. After a turn, the two parties finally met. It's you? Kang Shinmu was already prepared, and saw that the two people flying towards him were Kong Ci and Xiaoying, whom he had seen before. Kong Ci was the temporary leader of the previous demon hunter mission in the lava mountain range, but he turned out to be the liaison of a gang, tricking them into falling into an ambush, and almost causing them to be wiped out in the lava mountain range. The eyes of the middle-aged man, who had transformed into a divine dragon, were filled with surprise, as if he did not expect to meet Kang Shinmu, who had transformed into a black dragon, here. There was also Xiaoying. During the demon hunting mission in the lava mountain range, he was an inconspicuous fellow wearing tattered clothes. In the end, this fellow was in cahoots with Kong Ci. The path that the two of them had blocked was broken through by Shi Yueying, Shi Yutong, and a few others. In the end, they probably had nowhere else to go, which was why they followed Lu Yu here. Die. Kang Shinmu did not care how the other party came here, nor did he care what difficulties the other party had. In short, they had once wanted to kill him. So now, he would kill them. Naive. Kong Ci and Xiaoying were a little stunned when they saw Kang Shinmu. They did not expect him to find this place, but they both smiled coldly. With the same cultivation base, it was 2 against 1. How could they lose to this little black dragon? Kang Shinmu was in the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm, and these two were also in the 8th tier. In their opinion, 2 against 1 would definitely be able to kill Kang Shinmu, or at the very least, delay him, and then their side would quickly have reinforcements. However, they did not know that just 2 days ago, Kang Shinmu had killed a team of bloodshed in the Dragon Bone Valley. In the bloodshed team, every one of them was at least in the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm, and at that time, Kang Shinmu was only in the 7th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm. Now, Kang Shinmu was stronger, and after the 8th transformation, his speed was even faster, so the other party did not stand a chance. Sky-piercing dragon shadow. A layer of black flowing light appeared on the surface of the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into, like the twinkling stars in the night sky, emitting an extremely mysterious luster. In the next moment, he was above the divine dragon that Kong Ci had transformed into. Then, with a stomp of his dragon claws, he suddenly swung his head, and his dragon teeth bit into the other party's body. Just a moment later, Kong Ci and Xiaoying both fell down the cave, and soon hung on the cave wall. The divine dragon's body and bones had lost their vitality. I can't be bothered to devour these two guys. Kang Shinmu shook his head. He only devoured their life essence, and after recovering a little of the energy in his body, he continued to move forward. Soon, he finally landed at the bottom of the cave. This is the remains of a dragon skeleton. Kang Shinmu looked around and saw a ruin full of divine dragon skeletons. In this ruin, there were countless remnants of dilapidated buildings, and among the dilapidated buildings, there were some skeletons of heavenly dragons and even stronger divine dragons. God knew how many years had passed, but only the skeletons of the divine dragons had not been eroded by the wind. Such a place was a treasure to Kang Shinmu. He could devour to his heart's content here. With so many divine dragon skeletons, it was enough for his divine dragon blood essence to evolve into a heavenly dragon. To other dragon martialists, this place was useless. The only use was to search this place and see if there were any valuable items left behind by the dragon martialists who had died in battle. However, many years had passed since the legendary war between the dragon martialists. Even if there were some dragon weapons or useful items left behind, they had long been eroded by the wind and basically had no value. The aura of Lu Yefeng is even stronger here. Let's hide first. Kang Shinmu quickly found the ruins of a building, then returned to his human form and hid in it, observing secretly. Soon, he found that Lu Yefeng and several other dragon martialists were gathered in this place, discussing some topic. Among them, only Lu Yefeng was an expert of the first level of the divine martial realm, and the others were only dragon martialists of the ascending dragon realm. Compared to when I first saw him in the lava mountain range, there is not much change. Now, it should not be a problem for me to deal with a dragon martialist of the first level of the divine martial realm, but the other party's cultivation level of the dragon martial technique is probably very high. I need to pay attention. Or, I can hide first and slowly devour the divine dragon skeletons in this place. They are ready to move. Kang Shinmu saw that a total of 6 dragon martialists, including Lu Yefeng, seemed to smell the blood coming from the cave above. One by one, they turned into divine dragons and flew up to the top of the cave. Good chance. Kang Shinmu suppressed the idea of secretly devouring the divine dragon skeletons. This was because this was a good opportunity. The other party's attention was focused on the top of the cave, on the smell of blood coming from Kong Ci and Xiaoying, and they did not care that there were enemies hiding in the dragon skeletons. In the next moment, Kang Shinmu attacked from behind, the shadow of a black dragon darting out like a bolt of black lightning, instantly dragging down the other dragon martialist flying at the back of the group. Devour. With a loud bang, the bodies of the 2 divine dragons fell into the dragon skeletons, and the pitch-black devouring power began to cover their bodies. Who? Chapter 39:10. When Lu Yufei and the others turned around, Kang Shinmu had already entangled with the 8th level Dragon Ascension Realm dragon martial artist and was rolling on the ground of the dragon remains. The devouring power had already spread and eroded the other party's body at an extremely terrifying speed. Kang Shinmu could now easily kill a dragon martial artist of the same realm. The devouring power invaded the other party's heart in divine dragon Dantian, and then in just a few breaths, it could devour the other party's main life essence, causing the other party's death. As Kang Shinmu's fighting became more and more proficient, the efficiency of him relying on the devouring power to kill other dragon martial artists was getting higher and higher. But all along, it had always been those dragon martial artists who took the initiative to attack him. Helpless and passive counterattacks one after another had led to the current Kang Shinmu's pure fighting skills. Die. When Lu Yufei and the others turned around and flew in front of Kang Shinmu, the dragon martial artist entangled by him was already completely dead. Kang Shinmu did not feel that he was cruel at all, because he remembered this guy. In the lava mountain range, it was this guy, together with Lu Yufei and the others, who wanted to surround and kill Kang Shinmu and snatch their things. Now, it was just Kang Shinmu's revenge after he had enough strength. It just so happened that he had found the other party's hiding place. In this case, Kang Shinmu would not let go of the best opportunity for revenge. After absorbing a dragon chi crystal, Kang Shinmu's fighting strength had completely surpassed that of ordinary dragon martial artists of the Dragon Ascension realm. If there was anyone among the Dragon Ascension realm dragon martial artists who could fight against him, it would be those dragon martial artists who had inherited the essence and blood of the heavenly dragon or above. Unfortunately, Lu Yufei and the group of dragon martial artists in front of him were only dragon martial artists of the true dragon inheritance. The strongest among them, Lu Yufei, was a dragon martial artist of the first level of the divine martial realm, but his strength was only slightly higher than that of the golden dragon lion. For the current Kang Shinmu, it was not impossible to defeat him. But the prerequisite was that he had to kill all the other dragon martial artists first. During this period, he had to constantly withstand the powerful attacks from Lu Yufei. Dark Night Meteor Blast. Lu Yufei's Darkness Star innate ability appeared in front of Kang Shinmu once again. Previously, his dragon tail had been shattered by the other party's Devil Devour. If it was any other dragon warrior, they would have been crippled for the rest of their lives. Fortunately, Kang Shinmu had the power of devouring, so he was able to recover. Therefore, Kang Shinmu was very familiar with his opponent's strength. Demon Core, Swallow. Kang Shinmu immediately swallowed 2 monster cores of the flame demon beasts, and then directly faced the opponent's innate ability. The pitch-black power of the stars exploded in midair, and Kang Shinmu suddenly rushed into it. The surface of the dragon's body was covered with a layer of purple magic crystals, unexpectedly protecting him from damage at all. A pitch-black stream of light flashed past, allowing Kang Shinmu's black dragon form to bite down on a gemstone dragon with extreme speed. This gemstone dragon's defensive ability was extremely strong, but its offensive ability was not much. To Kang Shinmu, devouring the essence of its life and flesh might be able to strengthen his body's defense a little. In any case, since he had to eliminate the other dragon warriors one by one, he would start with this gemstone dragon. The gemstone dragon did not expect Kang Shinmu to start with it, and immediately snorted coldly. My innate ability is the shell of a gemstone, and can be said to be the strongest innate ability in the true dragon level. Since you've made me your target, then prepare to die. Originally, he did not think that such a small black dragon would be able to survive their siege, but why did he feel that this small black dragon was a little familiar? It's him. Lu Yufei saw that Kang Shinmu's black dragon form broke out of his Dark Knight meteor blast without suffering any damage, and suddenly remembered the incident that happened in the lava mountain range. It was that small black dragon that held them back, allowing the two female dragon warriors from the Shi clan residence to break out of the siege. Moreover, it was also the culprit that caused them to be hiding in this place. However, shouldn't this guy's tail be broken? Why did it grow out again? Even the Shi clan residents can't have such a miraculous elixir. Lu Yufei was extremely shocked, but when he thought about the black dragon's amazing recovery ability, he also thought of something. This guy's innate ability should be devouring. After all, it was not the first time that he had seen Kang Shinmu, so Lu Yufei combined the two situations he had seen and deduced that Kang Shinmu had such a kind of innate ability. Moreover, he knew that this innate ability of devouring should be able to devour the life essence of others to heal oneself. I have to kill him with one strike, or else I won't be able to kill this kid. Lu Yufei immediately thought of this. The pitch-black innate ability around his body began to condense in mid-air, and a terrifying force exploded in the field, as if a great disaster was about to befall. However, Kang Shinmu did not care. He continuously gnawed on the gemstone dragon and used the devouring power to weaken the defense of the gemstones on the surface of the dragon's body. Before long, the defense of the gemstone dragon had been weakened to less than half of what it was at the beginning. As Kang Shinmu expected, his defense began to increase after he devoured the gemstone dragon's innate ability. The purple magical crystal on the surface of his body began to emit a faint gemstone luster. The defense of his dragon skill magical crystal was 50% stronger than usual, and as he continued to devour the gemstone dragon, his defense became stronger and stronger. Go to hell. After a few more breaths, Kang Shinmu had completely devoured the gemstone defense on the surface of the gemstone dragon's body, and then finally used the devouring power to corrode the other party's body, covering the other party's heart and dantian. At the same time, Lu Yufei's terrifying move was ready. The pitch-black starlight that condensed in the sky was like a pitch-black meteor that attacked Kang Shinmu from mid-air, and it was aimed at the head of his black dragon body. Eternal Night Star Break. This pitch-black meteor was Lu Yufei's most powerful move, and it was extremely fast, and the angle was extremely tricky. Even if Kang Shinmu managed to dodge the fatal blow, he could not dodge the entire attack, and any part of the black dragon body that was hit by the pitch-black meteor would be easily penetrated, causing terrifying injuries. Unfortunately, Lu Yufei did not take into account the enhanced defense of Kang Shinmu by devouring the gemstone dragon's innate ability. Chapter 39:11. The eternal night star ray flashed across the sky above the dragon skeleton ruins like a shooting star. Then, it landed below the neck of Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body. However, it was blocked by the layer of purple magical crystal that shone with a faint gem-like glow. In the end, it could not penetrate Kang Shinmu's black dragon body. Huh! Lu Yufei's expression changed when he saw this. The eyes of the black dragon that he had transformed into were filled with shock. He blocked it? How is this possible? Lu Yufei was shocked. However, he immediately gathered the power of the dark stars and activated the eternal night burst again. Another pitch-black shooting star instantly bombarded Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body. However, this time, the attack was aimed at a different place. The defense of any part of Kang Shinmu's black dragon body was equally strong. Once again, the other party failed to achieve anything. However, the two consecutive eternal night bursts had caused Kang Shinmu's body to be knocked back quite a bit. For a moment, he could not reach Lu Yufei. On the other hand, Lu Yufei could form a pitch-black shooting star from afar and continue to attack him. Let's leave this kid to our boss. But I didn't expect this guy to be so tough. He took 2 hits from our boss and is not injured at all. Back at the lava mountain range, this guy could hold us back for so long. Now, he is even stronger. Apart from our boss, we are no match for him. Let's get out of the way first. The other 3 dragon martial artists chose to retreat. They gave Lu Yufei and Kang Shinmu enough space to fight and then flew up to the entrance of the passage above. If they watched the battle from the entrance of the passageway, they could avoid being caught in the crossfire and allow Lu Yufei to fight to his heart's content without fear of accidental injuries. On the other hand, if Lu Yufei was killed by Jiang Shenwu, they could escape as fast as they could. Humph, you little brat, you are really tough. However, barging into this place today is your biggest mistake. Lu Yufei let out a cold snort. His 300-foot-long black dragon body soared into the air, emitting starlight. His eyes were filled with an eerie coldness. There's news being spread in Dragon Bone Valley. It said that a small black dragon ambushed the Bloodshed organization and obtained a dragon energy crystal from them. If I'm not wrong, it should be you, right? Kang Shinmu stared at him coldly without saying a word. Looks like it's you. You have already devoured the dragon aura crystal and absorbed its energy. Otherwise, it would be impossible for you to improve so quickly. Lu Yufei's eyes revealed a look of pity. What a pity. A good dragon aura crystal was wasted by a kid like you. It's not worth it. If you give it to me, I will be able to step into the 2nd level of the divine martial arts realm and even try to transform into a heavenly dragon. Dream on. Kang Shinmu did not even think about it. Even his devouring power had only increased by 1/3 of the heavenly dragon blood essence level after devouring the dragon energy crystal. If others directly absorbed the dragon energy crystal, the effect would be even lower. It would be even more impossible for them to transform into a heavenly dragon. After letting out a cold snort, Kang Shinmu took action immediately. A pitch-black flowing light appeared on the surface of his black dragon body. With a dragon's shadow, he flew directly towards Lu Yufei. However, Lu Yufei had long seen through Kang Shinmu's tricks. Apart from close combat and relying on your innate ability to devour, what other abilities do you have? Lu Yufei laughed loudly. Then, another pitch-black meteor, Eternal Night Break, arrived with a loud bang. The speed of this pitch-black meteor far exceeded the speed at which Kang Shinmu could fly. In an instant, it hit him and sent him flying even further away. With a loud bang, he fell into the Dragon Bone ruins. Die! Kang Shinmu was not discouraged. He leaped into the air again and attacked Lu Yufei, who was also a black dragon. Naive. Lu Yufei sneered as if victory was already in his grasp. He formed 3 pitch-black meteors in a row. Eternal Night Stellar Burst, 3 consecutive strikes flew towards him. Kang Shinmu still could not avoid it. This time, as the 3 pitch-black meteors swept over and bombarded the same spot on his black dragon body, the purple magical crystal on the surface of his dragon body finally could not withstand it. A huge, bloody hole appeared in the black dragon's body. Although it was not a vital point, the divine dragon's blood essence splattered all over the place. The black dragon's body fell heavily into the dragon remains ruin, smashing through a large pile of sky dragon and sacred dragon skeletons. However, at this time, it seems like the sky-piercing dragon shadow is going to have a breakthrough. Jiang Shenwu's pair of black dragon eyes were filled with calmness. At this moment, his black dragon body suddenly rushed out from the pile of dragon remains, as if he had truly created a divine dragon's afterimage. In mid-air, he was like a whirlwind as he flew towards Lu Yufei. The serious wound from the bombardment had already healed with the help of the demon core. It would not affect the overall situation for a while. Die. When Lu Yufei saw that Jiang Shenwu was injured, he finally knew that his method had worked. As long as he continued, he would be able to exhaust the little black dragon to death. As long as he did not let the dragon get close to him, it would be fine. Therefore, Lu Yufei formed 5 pitch-black meteors. The eternal night break exploded with the greatest explosion in history and gathered them at the Dragon Bone ruins deep underground. A terrifying aura pressed down from the sky, causing Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body to tremble involuntarily. However, his expression was filled with unswerving determination. Come on. As Kang Shinmu roared, the 5 pitch-black meteors swept towards him at an extremely fast speed. They were like 5 pitch-black daggers from the Grim Reaper. They cut through the void and were about to blast Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body into 2. However, it was also at this time that Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body suddenly swung its tail. Sky-piercing dragon shadow. Earth rank. This dragon-like movement technique had finally broken through to the Earth rank level at this critical moment. Furthermore, it allowed Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body to turn into 4 to 5 shadows and easily evade the 5 waves of eternal night break. Lu Yufei only felt that something was wrong when Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body had already scuttled behind him. The 2 divine dragons were finally entangled together. Devour. The devouring power gathered on Kang Shinmu's dragon claws and dragon teeth and then covered Lu Yufei's divine dragon body. His opponent was a powerful divine martial artist. Kang Shinmu's devouring power could not devour his opponent's talent defensive barrier. What can you do to me? Chapter 39:12. Kang Shinmu held on to Lu Yufei tightly, using all his strength to drag Lu Yufei towards the dragon remains on the ground. Black starlight kept exploding. Lu Yufei was trying to push Kang Shinmu back, but Kang Shinmu did not relax even when his black dragon body was pierced through. He continued to hold on to Lu Yufei tightly. Demon core. Devour. Kang Shinmu finally devoured the demon core of the golden dragon lion. The demon core of a heavenly demon contained extremely rich heavenly energy, even richer than the earth energy. To Kang Shinmu, its healing ability was almost at its peak. Even if his body was pierced through, he could recover in an instant. The purple magical crystal on the surface of his black dragon body kept reforming, shattering and reforming again. The golden dragon lion's demon core made Kang Shinmu almost immortal for a short period of time. If not for the purple magical crystal, Lu Yufei would only need to attack Kang Shinmu's dragon head to kill him instantly. But now, with the protection of the purple magical crystal, Lu Yufei could not kill Kang Shinmu in one blow and would immediately be devoured to recover. Damn it! Lu Yufei was tightly entangled and fell heavily into the dragon remains on the ground. With my strength, unless this person's strength is exhausted, there is no way I can defeat him, but there are sharp weapons in the dragon remains that I can rely on. Kang Shinmu's eyes flashed. His dragon tail suddenly curled up a sharp divine dragon bone from the remains of a divine dragon and stabbed it directly into Lu Yufei's black dragon body. The divine dragon bones in the dragon remains had not been destroyed even after thousands of years, especially the divine dragon bones. If they had sharp parts, they could be used as sharp killing weapons. Even a divine dragon in the divine martial arts realm would not be able to withstand such a stab. In an instant, a small, bloody hole appeared on the surface of Lu Yufei's black dragon body. If it was anyone else, it would be impossible to kill Lu Yufei with such a technique. However, Jiang Shenwu was different, because his innate talent was devouring. The devouring power took the opportunity to surge into the other party's body. Devour. Kang Shinmu's expression was stern as he pushed his devouring power to the limit and started devouring his opponent's flesh and blood essence. Lu Yufei did not expect Kang Shinmu to use such a method to invade his dragon god's body. He immediately felt his life force draining away and finally began to panic. Originally, he was a dragon warrior of the divine martial arts realm. Dealing with a mere black dragon boy of the 8th layer of the Dragon Ascension realm, what was there to be afraid of? But now, he realized that he couldn't do anything to Kang Shinmu. No matter what kind of attack it was, it would not be able to kill Kang Shinmu in one hit, and then he would instantly recover. Although he knew that this kind of recovery ability could not be maintained forever, it seemed that Kang Shinmu would be able to kill him before that happened. As the devouring power surged into Lu Yufei's black dragon body, he could clearly feel himself becoming weaker and weaker. If he could heal himself and fill up the small bloody hole, he could still stop Kang Shinmu's devouring power. Unfortunately, he had no means of healing himself. Moreover, die. The holy dragon bone was swept up by Kang Shinmu's dragon tail and once again stabbed at Lu Yufei. Another small bloody hole appeared and the devouring power instantly entered it. The speed at which it invaded Lu Yufei's body doubled. As the devouring power wrapped around Zhou Donghuang's heart and divine dragon Dantian, Lu Yufei began to go crazy. He realized that if he couldn't kill Kang Shinmu as soon as possible, he would be the one to die. The innate power of countless pitch-black stars surged out of his body and condensed into streaks of pitch-black starry saber light that slashed at Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body. Kang Shinmu's black dragon body was slashed into several pieces in an instant. His opponent's instantaneous eruption produced an extremely terrifying effect and even nearly chopped off Kang Shinmu's dragon head. However, after Kang Shinmu devoured all the remaining energy of the golden dragon lion's heavenly demon core, he recovered completely in an instant. Then, under the effect of the devouring power, Lu Yufei's vitality and innate power in his body became weaker and weaker. He could no longer use the same technique as before. When Lu Yufei's final wave of eruption failed to kill Kang Shinmu, the outcome of the battle was already set. The 3 Dragon Ascension Realm martial artists who were watching the battle from the entrance of the passageway immediately felt a chill run down their spine. This insignificant black dragon had actually forced their boss to this level? But now, they still didn't think that Lu Yufei would lose. Should we go and help him? One of the dragon martial artists hesitated for a moment and said. If we go and help him now, we'll be accidentally injured by the boss. With our strength, we'll probably be seriously injured. But, it seems like the boss can't hold on anymore. The 3 dragon martial artists were somewhat hesitant. It was precisely this moment of hesitation that caused them to miss the best opportunity to kill Kang Shinmu. As Kang Shinmu's devouring power erupted, even Lu Yufei's roars became weaker. His vitality was constantly being drained and devoured by Kang Shinmu, causing Kang Shinmu to be in peak condition. The pitch-black devouring power completely enveloped the 2 black dragons' bodies. They tumbled and rolled on the ground covered with dragon skeletons, making it almost impossible for outsiders to see what was going on. By the time the battle between the 2 eased up a little, Lu Yufei had already lost the ability to fight against Kang Shinmu. Most of his vitality and flesh essence had been devoured by Kang Shinmu. He was extremely weak, hanging on to his last breath, not dying. Cough cough. Lu Yufei still wanted to say something but Jiang Shenwu could not be bothered with him. Jiang Shenwu's eyes were filled with murderous intent as the devouring power erupted one last time, finally devouring Lu Yufei's last breath and absorbing all of his life force into Jiang Shenwu's body. Lu Yufei, dead. The next moment, Kang Shinmu did not stop and flew straight up into the sky. There were still 3 dragon martial artists. He could not let them go, otherwise, he might attract huge trouble. It must be known that there were dragon martial artists everywhere in the Dragon Bone Valley, searching for him. If those fellows all rushed in, Kang Shinmu would definitely die. It was already so difficult for him to deal with Lu Yuefei, and he had even devoured the only demon core of a Sky Fae. If there were 2 more Divine Martial Realm dragon martial artists, Kang Shinmu would definitely not be a match for them. The 3 dragon martial artists were still hesitating about whether they should come forward to help. Suddenly, they saw Kang Shinmu, who had transformed into a black dragon, flying towards them amidst the black gas. What's going on? Boss has lost, let's go. Chapter 39-13. When Kang Shinmu returned to the Dragon Remains ruins, his expression was grave. That was because, although he had caught up and killed 2 of the dragon warriors, he had let the last one escape. That guy was a Gale Divine Dragon, and his speed was extremely fast. With the support of his inherent skill, he had actually taken advantage of the time when Jiang Shenwu was killing the other 2 dragon warriors to escape. Needless to say, that fellow would definitely bring in all the dragon martial artists that were searching in the Dragon Bone Valley. In that case, Kang Shinmu began to ram against the tunnel leading to the outside world in the form of a black dragon. If it was a dragon martial artist with flames, lightning, or other talents, it would be easy to seal the tunnel. However, to Kang Shinmu, he could only ram against it with the body of a mystical dragon. And now, he no longer had the monster cores of the demonic beasts on him. After coming to the Dragon Bone Valley, he did not have many opportunities to hunt demonic beasts. He had been fighting other dragon martial artists until now. When the purple magical crystals on him were basically shattered, the tunnel finally shook and collapsed. Huge rocks fell from above, burying more than half of the Dragon Remains ruins. The tunnel leading to the Dragon Remains ruins was completely blocked. This way, even if the dragon martial artists outside wanted to find Kang Shinmu, they would have to blast the entire mountain wall open. This was not an easy task. After all, the entire mountain was extremely majestic. Even if hundreds of dragon martial artists worked together, they would need a long time to blast it open. It would be impossible without at least a month. Kang Shinmu believed that the attraction of the dragon chi crystals would be enough to attract those fellows to blast the mountain. Otherwise, it would be troublesome for him to leave this place. No matter what, this was the only way for Kang Shinmu now. Otherwise, when the dragon martial artists came in, Kang Shinmu would have no other way out and would definitely die. As for Kang Shinmu, he could at least devour the mystical dragon skeletons in the Dragon Remains ruins to see how much he could grow. There are many holy dragon corpses in this Dragon Remains relic. Perhaps I can devour them and transform into a dragon martialist that inherited the heavenly dragon's blood essence. Kang Shinmu's eyes lit up as he scanned the entire dragon skeleton ruins. If they were divine dragon skeletons of mortal dragons or true dragons, they would have long been eroded by the wind. Moreover, during the War of Divine Dragons in the past, it seemed that dragon martial artists of mortal dragons and true dragons did not have the qualifications to participate in the war. In the entire dragon skeleton ruins, there were at least tens of thousands of divine dragon skeletons. Among them, there were hundreds of holy dragon skeletons, but the exact number was uncountable. Many of the skeletons were incomplete, but they were still preserved to this day. Devouring the dragon chi crystal has brought me 1/3 closer to the heavenly dragon level. I wonder what would be the effect of devouring the remains of the heavenly dragons and the sacred dragons. Kang Shinmu thought to himself. He reverted to his human form and walked through the cracks of the collapsed cave. Soon, he chose a heavenly dragon-level divine dragon's corpse. Then, he covered it with his devouring power and started devouring it. The speed at which he devoured the divine dragon's corpse was very slow. Even though Kang Shinmu's devouring power had been greatly enhanced, it would still take him at least 2 hours to devour the corpse of a heavenly dragon inheritor. Moreover, this was after millions of years of erosion. If it was the corpse of a recently deceased sky dragon inheritor, even if the other party had just inherited the divine dragon blood essence and was at the first layer of the dragon ascension realm, it would not be easy for Jiang Shenwu to devour the other party's corpse. Not even 1,000th of an improvement, Kang Shinmu soon discovered that devouring a heavenly dragon's corpse did not improve the grade of his divine dragon blood essence much. At this rate, he would need at least 3 months to devour 2 to 3,000 heavenly dragon skeletons before he could step into the heavenly dragon level. What if I devour the sacred dragon's corpse? With a thought, Kang Shinmu quickly tried it out. Although the effect of devouring the heavenly dragon's corpse was not very good, it allowed him to calm his mind. After all, he was certain that the divine dragon's corpse in the dragon remains was enough for his divine dragon blood essence to transform. Of course, the closer he was to the transformation, the weaker the devouring effect would be, and the more he would need. If he only relied on the heavenly dragon's corpse, he would not be able to improve it in 3 months. Therefore, devouring the sacred dragon's corpse became very necessary. In the incomparably dark and collapsed dragon remains, Kang Shinmu devoured for a full 12 hours before he finally devoured a relatively complete sacred dragon's corpse. He discovered that a sacred dragon's corpse could actually increase the grade of his divine dragon blood essence by about 1%. In this way, according to my current transformation speed, I will only need a month to transform into an inherited dragon martial artist with heavenly dragon blood essence. Kang Shinmu quickly realized this point. A month's time just so happened to be before the clan martial competition began. Moreover, if the dragon martial artists outside were unwilling to give up on the dragon energy crystals, they would also break in about a month later. If Kang Shinmu transformed into a dragon martial artist with heavenly dragon blood essence, he would not need to be afraid of those dragon martial artists. This was because the dragon martial artists who came to the Dragon Bone Valley were basically at the true dragon blood essence level. Even in Dragon Prison City, dragon martial artists with heavenly dragon blood essence were considered relatively strong existences. A place like the Dragon Bone Valley was the residence of relatively weak demonic beasts, so heavenly dragon martial artists rarely came. Although the dragon chi crystal was rare and precious to the inheritors of the heavenly dragon blood essence, it was impossible for the inheritors of the heavenly dragon blood essence to spend a month waiting outside. Therefore, when the time came, Kang Shinmu would definitely encounter those dragon martial artists with true dragon blood essence level. Then I'll devour them all. Kang Shinmu's body emitted a black aura as his devouring power surged out continuously. He continuously chose the more complete sacred dragon's corpse and devoured it. As for the heavenly dragon's corpse, he could not be bothered with it. This was because the efficiency of devouring was too low. Once Kang Shinmu's divine dragon blood essence transformed to the heavenly dragon level, he would not need to devour the heavenly dragon's corpse, because it would be useless. Advancing to the heavenly dragon level is basically the peak in the vicinity of Dragon Prison City. If I want to continue advancing to the sacred dragon level, I'm afraid I'll only have a chance in the divine dragon tomb of the Yen Dragon Emperor dynasty. However, that place is not something I can go to now. At the very least, I have to advance from the Dragon Ascension realm to the Divine Martial realm, and then step into the Nirvana Tribulation realm. Kang Shinmu thought to himself. He continued to devour the sacred dragon's corpse, absorbing the essence of the divine dragon blood essence into his own blood essence, causing his devouring power to continuously increase. Apart from that, the black dragon that he had transformed into was also continuously growing. Chapter 39:14. A full month passed. Kang Shinmu was constantly searching for the more complete holy dragon remains in the dragon ruins and devouring them. As his blood essence became stronger and stronger, the speed at which he devoured the holy dragon remains became faster and faster. However, correspondingly, the improvement from devouring each holy dragon remains became weaker and weaker. Fortunately, these were the remains of the holy dragon. Currently, Kang Shinmu had only advanced from the true dragon level to the heavenly dragon level. Therefore, the effects of the holy dragon remains were quite good. Even though the effects became weaker in the later stages, they could still allow Kang Shinmu's holy dragon blood essence to continuously improve. A month passed. Kang Shinmu's holy dragon blood essence was almost at the level of a breakthrough. However, at this time, he could also sense that there were continuous rumbling sounds coming from the collapsed dragon ruins. It was obvious that many dragon warriors were attacking the ruins from the outside world. Moreover, the entire dragon ruins seemed to be trembling, causing Kang Shinmu to tremble in fear during the process of devouring. Fortunately, Jiang Shenwu's transformation was imminent, so he did not divert his attention to pay attention to his surroundings. This was because he understood that it was useless to be distracted right now. If he could not break through to the heavenly dragon inheritance before the group of dragon warriors destroyed the entire mountain wall and gathered at the dragon's mark, then the dragon warrior would definitely die. Devour. Breakthrough. Kang Shinmu's eyes flickered with the brilliance from before the breakthrough. His entire body transformed into the body of a black dragon. As he completely devoured Long Zi's holy dragon remains, he felt the holy dragon blood essence in his body boil completely. Then, a terrifying holy dragon aura spread out from the holy dragon blood essence and quickly spread throughout the black dragon's body. For ordinary dragon warriors, the transformation of blood essence was something that could only be encountered by chance. Unless by chance, they could obtain a supreme treasure like the dragon chi crystal. However, it was rare for even the Shi clan to obtain such a thing. If it was an ordinary dragon martial artist, they would need to absorb at least 4 or 5 dragon chi crystals to be able to advance from a true dragon to a sky dragon. For a true dragon martial artist, obtaining a dragon chi crystal was as difficult as ascending to heaven. As for the inheritance of the heavenly dragon blood, it was almost impossible for a dragon martial artist to transform into a divine dragon. Based on the dragon energy crystals, one would need to absorb at least 100 dragon energy crystals. Even in the entire Yan Dragon Emperor dynasty, very few people could do this. Apart from Kang Shinmu, who had the power of devouring, he could continuously devour the divine dragon's remains to raise the level of his divine dragon blood essence. This was his greatest advantage. The reason why he had advanced from a mortal dragon to a true dragon was because he had swallowed the saliva of the demon dragon. As a result, the Jiang clan's Jiang Rong and the others had developed killing intent and felt threatened by him. Now, as long as Kang Shinmu advanced from a true dragon to a heavenly dragon, Jiang Rong wouldn't be able to deal with him as he wished. Besides, even Jiang Rong would not dare to act recklessly in Dragon Prisoner City. Heavenly Dragon. Form. Following Kang Shinmu's roar, his black dragon body instantly burst into a series of crackling sounds. It was as if the bones in his body were constantly exploding and then rapidly reforming. However, the newly formed divine dragon bone was much larger than the previous one. Before Kang Shinmu's transformation, although his black dragon body had expanded, it was only about 500 feet long. But now, after the divine dragon blood essence in his body advanced to the heavenly dragon level, the length of his black dragon body had increased to more than 1,000 feet. In an instant, he had more than doubled his original size. The larger divine dragon body brought about an even stronger physical strength. For Kang Shinmu, the changes were extremely obvious. The effects of the 4th grade body refining dragon-type magic crystal were even more terrifying. Previously, he could rely on the heavenly phase monster core to remain unscathed in front of Lu Yufei, who was at the first tier of the divine martial realm. But now, Kang Shinmu was not someone Lu Yufei could fight against. When Lu Yufei did not use his innate power to defend himself, Kang Shinmu only needed to use his dragon claws and dragon teeth to easily tear Lu Yufei's entire dragon body into pieces. This was the terrifying thing about an inheritor of the heavenly dragon blood essence. With a body of more than 1,000 feet long, just the physical strength alone was extremely terrifying. Kang Shinmu now had a deep understanding of this. He had never fought against a dragon martial artist who had inherited the heavenly dragon blood essence before. But now, he felt that it was fortunate that he had never fought against a dragon martial artist who had inherited the heavenly dragon blood essence of the same realm. Otherwise, the possibility of him defeating the other party would be too small. In the grade of the divine dragon blood essence, every level of difference was like heaven and earth. Unless the difference in cultivation was too great, it was impossible to make up for the difference in combat strength between the two sides. Only now did Kang Shinmu feel that it was extremely difficult for him to challenge Jiang Liuxue in the clan martial competition as a true dragon inheritor. Only if he could step into the divine martial realm, and Jiang Liuxue was only at the 5th or 6th level of the Dragon Ascension realm, would it be possible for him to defeat her. Or perhaps, Kang Xinmu could learn some 1st or 2nd grade peak dragon martial skill and cultivate it to at least the earth level. Only then would he be able to cross the grade of blood essence and defeat the inheritor of the heavenly dragon blood essence of the same realm. Of course, now, Kang Xinmu himself had already transformed. The heavenly dragon-level divine dragon blood essence flowed within his body. The terrifying devouring power from the mysterious black dragon had become several times more tyrannical than before. The current Kang Xinmu was completely different from the previous Kang Xinmu. He had even completely transformed into an existence of another level. Furthermore, after devouring the divine dragon bones for such a long time, in addition to the increase in the level of the divine dragon blood essence, Kang Xinmu's cultivation was also nearing the critical point. He was not far from the 9th level of the Dragon Ascension realm, which was the 9th transformation of the Dragon Ascension realm. Unfortunately, the remains of the Holy Dragon in the Dragon Mark have basically all been devoured by me. There are a total of several hundred Holy Dragons. If it was in the outside world, it would be impossible to obtain so many Holy Dragon bones to devour. It must be known that even in the Dragon Prison City, there are only 10 Holy Dragon level experts. Jiang Shen will let loose and let out a dragon roar. Instantly, a pitch-black aura of devouring power burst out from his 100 Zhonglong black dragon body. It was as if a dark cloud had been created, covering his divine dragon body and emitting an unimaginable killing intent. At this moment, the ruins of the mountain wall above his head were suddenly torn apart by a terrifying force. A large group of dragon warriors who had inherited the true dragon blood essence, including nearly 10 strong dragon warriors at the divine martial arts realm, looked down at the broken mountain wall. Where are the dragon chi crystals? I don't know, but that raging dragon is not dead yet. No, who said that this is just a black dragon apricot? This is a heavenly dragon martialist. All the dragon martialists were dumbfounded. Chapter 39:15. Male, when they saw Kang Xinmu in his black dragon form flying out of the dragon remains, the dragon martialists could clearly see his 100 Zhonglong divine dragon body. This was a heavenly dragon. The rumored black dragon boy was actually a powerful existence who had inherited the heavenly dragon blood essence. The rumors are wrong. Many people felt that they had been deceived, but only a few people were puzzled and shocked. A few people knew very well that this black dragon boy was definitely a dragon martialist who had inherited the true dragon blood essence a month ago. What had happened to him in this 1 month? Even if he had absorbed the dragon energy crystal, he shouldn't have transformed into a heavenly dragon, right? All the dragon martialists stared with their eyes wide open. Where is the dragon energy crystal? The dragon martialists quickly reacted. They did not forget their purpose and shouted at Kang Xinmu. If it was a dragon martialist who had inherited the heavenly dragon blood essence in the god martial arts realm, this group of guys would have retreated long ago. However, they found that Kang Xinmu was only in the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm. Therefore, after exchanging glances, they decided not to retreat. Although they understood that the possibility of the dragon energy crystal still existing was very small and that it had most likely been absorbed by this boy, they had spent a whole month to blast open the entire mountain wall. How could they be willing to leave without getting anything? They had to get something. Even if it wasn't the dragon energy crystal, it could be something else. The dragon martialists who had inherited the heavenly dragon blood essence were terrifying to them, but those who had not reached the god martial arts realm were just so-so in their eyes. Especially among this group of dragon martialists, there were many who had reached the 2nd or even the 3rd tier of the god martial arts realm. There were a total of 7 dragon martialists in the god martial arts realm. Although they had only inherited the true dragon blood essence, their combined fighting strength was definitely not weak. Kang Xinmu flew out of the dragon remains. He was very grateful to these dragon martialists for helping him blast open the entire mountain wall. It's a pity that the dragon energy crystal is gone. I wonder who told you that I didn't absorb the dragon energy crystal? Kang Shinmu's eyes emitted an awe-inspiring might as his gaze locked onto one of the dragon warriors who had transformed into a dragon. When all the dragon warriors turned to look at that guy immediately broke out in a cold sweat. He was one of the wanted dragon warriors who had followed Lu Yu to fly. Previously, he had escaped from Kang Shinmu and told the dragon warriors outside that Kang Shinmu was under the dragon skeleton ruins. For the sake of the dragon chi spar, many of the dragon warriors decided to break open the mountain wall and find Kang Shinmu. Furthermore, they surrounded the guy who escaped and prevented him from leaving. It was all for this moment. Originally, in order to prevent the information from being wrong, there was nothing after blasting open the mountain wall. The information was correct, but it was only a part of it. Kang Shinmu did exist, but the dragon energy crystal had already been swallowed by him. Kill. One of the ruthless divine martial realm divine dragon's entire body burst into flames, instantly forming a flaming dragon claw, instantly turning the escaping dragon warrior into slag. This time, Lu Yufei's group was completely annihilated, not a single person was left. However, we have joined forces to break open the mountain wall. No matter what, we have allowed you to escape from the bottom of the collapsed mountain. The Inferno Divine Dragon's tone was filled with a ruthless aura. If you don't hand over something, I'm afraid it will be difficult for you to leave this place. Even though you are the inheritor of the heavenly dragon blood essence, you have not stepped into the divine martial realm, nor do you have any backing. It is not appropriate for you to go against so many of us. I can't take out anything. You were the ones who willingly blasted open the mountain wall. What does that have to do with me? Kang Shinmu coldly snorted, if you want to fight, then let's fight. Come. The divine dragon he had transformed into was a giant black dragon that was hundreds of feet long. His pair of divine dragon eyes emitted a strong fighting intent. This was the first time he had fought after transforming into the heavenly dragon inheritor. He wanted to know what level he had reached. Humph. Then let's give it a try. The ruthless Inferno divine dragon coldly snorted with murderous intent. Then, a shocking burst of flames exploded in the direction of where Kang Shinmu was. The other 6 divine martial realm dragon warriors also attacked at the same time, launching terrifying attacks at where Kang Shinmu was. In an instant, all kinds of talent powers came crashing down. Each of the 6 different talent powers condensed into a terrifying vortex and fell on the huge black dragon. Demonic crystal. Appear. Seeing this, a purple light flashed in Kang Shinmu's eyes. Then, his entire body was covered with a layer of purple demonic crystal. The appearance of this layer of purple demonic crystals made his entire black dragon look like a purple divine dragon. Under the joint attack of 7 divine dragons in the divine martial arts realm, he was not injured at all. Moreover, he rushed out of the vortex of talent power at a terrifying speed. Kill. The purple demonic crystal on Kang Shinmu's black dragon body was not completely destroyed. With endless murderous intent, a black stream of light appeared on the dragon body. Behind him, a few shadows appeared. In an instant, like a gust of wind, he swept towards the ruthless Inferno divine dragon. Roaring Sky Dragon Claw. Although it was only a human-level dragon attack technique, after Kang Shinmu transformed into a dragon warrior with Sky Dragon inheritance, its power became extraordinary. The dragon claw whizzed down, and the Inferno divine dragon did not have time to react. This was because Kang Shinmu's speed was too fast. The Inferno divine dragon was still paying attention to the shadows of Kang Shinmu, but Kang Shinmu's real body had already arrived in front of him. The dragon claw landed, and a deep wound appeared on the fiery red dragon body. As the dragon's teeth attacked, Kang Shinmu bit the center of the other party's body. The terrifying biting force trapped the other party tightly. A huge force sent the other party crashing into the mountain behind him, creating a deep pit. Devour. In that instant, Kang Shinmu's devouring power surged into the other party's wound. Even if the other party was a powerful dragon warrior of the divine martial realm, he did not have the slightest ability to resist at this moment. The essence of his life, blood, and flesh quickly flowed into Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body. In just 3 breaths of time, before the other dragon warriors could catch up, the ruthless Inferno divine dragon had already died. The fiery red color on his body began to dim, and he fell heavily into the dense forest of the Dragon Bone Valley below. As for Kang Shinmu's black dragon body, he floated proudly in the air. A pair of dragon eyes swept across the surroundings, giving off a feeling that he was looking down on the world. This is the feeling of having power. Clan tournament, I, Kang Shinmu, am here. Instantly killing a divine martial realm Inferno divine dragon made the surrounding dragon warriors silent out of fear. It could be said that he had killed one to warn the others. At this moment, the remaining 6 divine dragons of the divine martial realm did not dare to say a word, and quickly retreated into the distance. On one hand, the dragon energy crystal was already gone, and the 1 month's time spent breaking open the mountain wall could only be considered a waste. On the other hand, Kang Shinmu's strength was really shocking. Even though he had not stepped into the divine martial realm, he could easily kill a true dragon warrior of the divine martial realm. Chapter 39:16. After the death of the fiery immortal dragon, many dragon fighters immediately dispersed. They dared not fight against Kang Shinmu anymore. Phoenix update fast, please search IA/IA. Kang Shinmu raised his head and found that all the opponents had been scared off. He directly threw the corpse of the fiery immortal dragon into Dragon Bone Valley. As for him, that fiery immortal dragon was not worth devouring anymore. The blood essence of a true dragon martial artist did not have any effect on Jiang Shenwu after he swallowed it. Even if he devoured the essence blood of the dragon fighters at all, Kang Shinmu's black dragon essence blood would not improve too much. Even the corpses of the holy dragon fighters were not high-end for Kang Shinmu. Only by devouring the corpses of powerful dragon fighters at the level of Dragon King could he improve his immortal dragon essence blood. That was to say, only one dragon fighter in the entire Dragon Cage domain could meet Kang Shinmu's requirement. That was Dragon King, the king of the entire Dragon Cage domain, the Dragon King who was bestowed by Flaming Dragon Emperor Dynasty. If I want to improve my immortal dragon essence blood, I have to go to the immortal dragon's graveyard in Flaming Dragon Emperor Dynasty. Kang Shinmu shook his head. It was still too far for him to reach this goal. The immortal dragon's graveyard was extremely sacred for the entire Flaming Dragon Emperor Dynasty. It was a place to worship ancestors. How could it be so easy to enter such an important place? Even if Jiang Shenwu went in and devoured the divine dragon skeletons in the tomb of the divine dragons, it was impossible for him to come out. Therefore, if he wanted to raise the grade of the black dragon's blood essence again, he could only wait for an opportunity. Such an opportunity might not be far away, but it might be very close. Nobody knew how the world would develop. Perhaps, by then, Kang Shinmu would try to explore outside the Flaming Dragon Emperor Dynasty. However, it was still too early. With his current strength, he could not even leave the Dragon Cage domain, not to mention outside the Flaming Dragon Emperor Dynasty. Next is the clan fight competition. Kang Shinmu was clear about what he had to do next. The matter of the Jiang clan was like a thorn in his throat that he couldn't swallow. The disappearance of his father, Jiang Zizai, had something to do with the Black Dragon. But Uncle Jiang Rong wanted to secretly kill him and kill him. It was impossible for him to let go of this matter. In this clan martial competition, he wanted to prove his talent. When his blood essence transformed to the heavenly dragon level, he would absolutely be considered as the strongest in the Jiang clan's younger generation. There's still 1 month left before the clan fight competition. During this period, I have to consolidate my cultivation. I will definitely reach the peak of Dragon Ascension Realm and complete the 9 transformations. Jiang Shenwu transformed into a black dragon and soared into the sky, flying back to Dragon Prison City. He knew that the news of him transforming into a heavenly dragon would probably spread out. For others, a dragon warrior transforming from a true dragon to a heavenly dragon was a major event. In the entire Dragon Prison City, such an event had not happened in the past few years. Soon, Dragon Prison City came into view. Countless divine dragons soared above the magnificent and vast city, together forming the glorious scene of the Dragon Cage domain. And the heavenly dragon-level dragon warrior in the sky was like a bright lamp in the night, attracting attention. The 100-zhang long black dragon broke through the wind and flew into the sky above Dragon Prison City, heading straight for the Shi clan mansion. That was Kang Shinmu's place of residence in Dragon Prison City. No matter what, the Shi clan mansion was friendly to him. Now that he had transformed into a heavenly dragon inheritance dragon warrior, there was no need to worry about anything else. Kang Shinmu is back. Shi Yueying and Shi Yutong followed the sacred dragon Shi Tao and looked into the distance from the Shi clan mansion. When they saw Kang Shinmu's black dragon body, they immediately revealed looks of amazement. They did not expect that this kid would be able to transform into a heavenly dragon blood essence inheritor in just a month. It is said that he absorbed a dragon aura crystal, and that dragon aura crystal was obtained by the Bloodshed group. There's news from the Xia clan mansion in the east of the city that the young master of the Xia clan mansion, Xia Tianhan, fought with Kang Shinmu against the Bloodshed group. In the end, the dragon energy crystal was monopolized by Kang Shinmu. I wonder if that's really the case. Just ask him. If there's any falsehood in Xia Tianhan's words, I, Shi Tao, will definitely stand on Kang Shinmu's side. The sacred dragon Shi Tao wore a brocade silk robe. His eyes were dignified as he stared at the black dragon flying in the sky. The original Kang Shinmu was nothing in Shi Tao's eyes. After all, there were two grades between a true dragon and a sacred dragon. The difference was too great. Now, however, Kang Shinmu had transformed from a true dragon to a heavenly dragon inheritor. His potential was completely different from before. Shi Tao even felt that he could betroth one of his daughters to Kang Shinmu. The current Kang Shinmu definitely possessed such potential. For the sacred dragon Shi Tao, the marriage of his two daughters was a rather worrying matter. He had finally found a youth with potential. If there were no major problems with his character, it was not impossible for his daughters to marry him off. Many dragon martialists saw Kang Shinmu's return. Soon, he landed in the Shi clan mansion and reverted to his human form, arriving before Shi Tao, Shi Yueying, and Shi Yutong. The other members of the Shi clan mansion watched respectfully from afar. With Shi Tao present, they did not dare speak. Who would have thought that a young hero would have such astonishing achievements? Shi Tao laughed heartily and welcomed him warmly. His attitude was completely different from the first time he brought Kang Shinmu to the Shi clan mansion. Previously, he had paid a little attention to him, but it was only because he had saved his two daughters that he treated him with courtesy. But now, he had opened his eyes to Kang Shinmu and was full of praise for him. In the past, those who could successfully transform with divine dragon blood essence would all become experts. This was because being able to transform once meant that there was a possibility of transforming a second time. If he became a sacred dragon, how great would this kid's potential be? Junior Kang Shinmu pays his respects to Senior. Kang Shinmu knew that he would have to rely on the Shi clan mansion in Dragon Prison City. It was fine at first, but now that he had caused a huge commotion, the entire city would definitely know about it. If he didn't find a protective umbrella, it would be very easy for an accident to happen. If he wanted to cultivate in peace and participate in the clan martial competition, the Shi clan mansion was the safest place. There's no need to be so polite. However, Xia Tianhan of the Xia clan mansion in the city said that you cooperated with him to kill the Bloodblade gang, yet you monopolized the dragon energy crystal? Shi Tao asked in a deep voice. Kang Shinmu immediately frowned when he heard this. Is the Xia Tianhan you speak of a handsome man who inherited the blood essence of an ice divine dragon and is currently at the peak of the dragon ascension realm? Chapter 39:17. Kang Shinmu shook his head. I no longer care about him, but since he slandered me, I don't mind accepting his challenge. Oh. If it really is slander, then Xia Tianhan is in the wrong. Shi Tao nodded. He quickly understood the whole story, but he did not know that the reason Kang Xinmu could transform into a heavenly dragon was because he had devoured so many divine dragon corpses. Everyone only knew that he had absorbed a dragon energy crystal. As for how a dragon energy crystal could transform someone, it could only be said that Kang Xinmu was too talented. In that case, I will go with you on the day of the challenge. Let's see how strong Xia Tianhan is to dare challenge you. Haha. Shi Tao laughed and clapped his hands. Yutong, take out the heavenly sacred halberd and lend it to Brother Jiang. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the Shi clan estate was shocked. They didn't expect that the patriarch would actually lend out the heavenly saint's halberd. One had to know that this was a dragon-grade dragon weapon, one of the treasures of the Shi clan estate, and even the dragon weapon that Shi Tao himself used. Thank you, senior. Kang Xinmu's eyes lit up. He had never used a dragon weapon before. Since someone was willing to lend it, he would not stand on ceremony. But he knew that by doing so, he would owe the Shi clan residents a favor. Of course, favors could always be repaid in the future. The key was that Jiang Xinwu was very interested in the halberd of the heavenly saint. If it was something else, it would be fine. However, he had never obtained a dragon weapon before. The forging of a dragon weapon was very difficult and complicated. In the Jiang clan, only divine martial realm dragon warriors were qualified to use a dragon weapon. But, how confident are you in defeating Xia Tianhan? Shi Tao asked solemnly. Victory. Kang Xinmu nodded confidently. When he was in the 7th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm, he could easily defeat Xia Tianhan, who was at the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm. Now that he had advanced to the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm and transformed into a divine martial warrior of the heavenly dragon inheritance, he was a dragon warrior. Even if the other party had become an existence of the first level of the god martial realm. Jiang Xinwu had already killed more than one god martial realm expert this time. Although his opponent might have some special means, as he was the young master of the Xia clan residence, Kang Xinmu also had the heavenly sacred halberd. If they fought like this, Kang Xinmu was not certain that he would win. At most, he had about his opponent's methods. However, with the dragon-grade halberd of the heavenly saint, he no longer had any doubts. The challenge will be held 3 days later. In these 3 days, you should familiarize yourself with the Sky Saint's halberd. Tao, Tao, Clan Shi, it is, Clan, you dragon, you Xinmu. You dragon, you, the Shi clan residents occupied a vast area, and the training ground was also incomparably spacious. It was enough to accommodate existences at the divine dragon level. For the current Jiang Xinwu, fighting in it was considered too vast. Kang Xinmu doesn't have any powerful means, but after transforming into a divine dragon, his defense will be even more terrifying. Shi Yueying was quite familiar with Kang Xinmu's talent. She knew that he could recover at an extremely fast speed by swallowing a beast core. Shi Yueying was quite familiar with Jiang Xinwu's innate skill. She knew that he could recover at an extremely fast speed by simply swallowing a demon core. This made her very curious. What level had Jiang Xinwu's physical body reached now? Kang Xinmu, let me show you how to use the heavenly sacred halberd. Kang Xinmu, let me show you how to use the heavenly sacred halberd. The ice-cold Shi Yueying received the halberd of heavenly saint and transformed into an ice divine dragon. The halberd of heavenly saint that was emitting a golden holy light actually transformed into a golden light that covered the ice divine dragon. Kang Xinmu, let's try it first. Shi Yueying had always been competitive. Recently, she had also made progress and broken through to the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm. Therefore, she wanted to compete with Kang Xinmu to see who was stronger. Unfortunately, when she came back, she found that Kang Xinmu had transformed into a sky dragon. It could be said that she had lost the ability to fight. However, with the heavenly sacred halberd, she should still be able to fight against Kang Xinmu for a while. She knew that Kang Xinmu's attack power was not strong. With the heavenly sacred halberd, it was impossible for her to be unable to withstand a few blows from him. Dragon weapons were also divided into different grades. The most basic human-grade dragon weapon was the most widely used. Many wandering dragon martial artists used it. As for the slightly stronger earth-rank dragon weapons, they were the clan-protecting treasures of some clans. It was already very difficult to forge an earth-rank dragon weapon. Not to mention, if one had an earth-rank dragon weapon, it could completely double the strength of a dragon warrior. As for the dragon-grade dragon weapon, it was needless to say. Even in the entire dragon prison city, the number of dragon-grade dragon weapons could be counted with 2 hands. The heavenly sacred halberd was one of the most powerful dragon-grade dragon weapons. When a dragon martial artist wielded the heavenly sacred halberd in human form, it was an extremely powerful weapon. But once it transformed into the divine dragon form, the heavenly sacred halberd would turn into a burst of golden light that covered the dragon martial artist's body like a layer of golden armor. Heavenly sacred snowfall. The elegant and slender ice dragon, shrouded in dazzling golden light, swept towards Kang Shinmu's black dragon body. Immediately after, rays of golden holy light mixed with the endless power of ice and snow poured down on Kang Shinmu. The heavenly sacred halberd can enhance the power of talent when used on the power of talent. In this way, won't my devouring power be enhanced as well? Kang Shinmu felt the power of the other party's attack. Without any hesitation, the purple magic crystals on his body appeared. Magic crystals. The surface of the black dragon body was covered with purple magic crystals, and it directly rushed towards the heavenly sacred snowfall. The terrifying golden light mixed with the power of ice and snow smashed onto Kang Shinmu's divine dragon body like hail, but it couldn't break through the purple magic crystals on the surface of his body at all. However, the other party's heavenly sacred snowfall was endless, as if it was a blizzard that almost covered the entire sky. Even Kang Shinmu couldn't resist the urge. Void-piercing dragon shadow. The black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into traversed through the golden ice and snow. In the next moment, he left a few afterimages behind him and appeared in front of Shi Yueying in an instant. Even though he was covered by the golden light of the heavenly sacred halberd, the ice dragon that Shi Yueying had transformed into was still too petite in front of Kang Shinmu. In terms of body size, she was almost twice the size of Kang Shinmu. Kang Shinmu didn't use any dragon martial technique. He just swooped down with his black dragon body, and the terrifying force slammed his opponent heavily into the solid ground of the arena. Under the protection of the golden light formed by the heavenly sacred halberd, Shi Yueying didn't suffer any damage. Chapter 39:18. Countless golden halberds pierced toward Kang Shinmu's dragon body, mixed with a bit of frost power. Devour. A black devouring power spread out from Kang Shinmu's body. Now, he could control this devouring power, turning it into tiny black lines that devoured the golden halberds piercing toward him. Under his precise control, those golden halberds were devoured by Kang Shinmu. Then, he felt the frost power spread to his limbs and bones after being devoured, giving Kang Shinmu a very comfortable feeling. It's here again, this is the feeling. Shi Yueying's talent must have something special. I've never seen such power before. Kang Shinmu had devoured more than 1 or 2 frost divine dragons, but he had never seen such a situation, so he took it seriously. He thought of a way to let him study it and enjoy it, but the premise was that he had to finish the battle first. Under the protection of the heavenly Saint Halberd, Kang Shinmu couldn't break through for a while, and he also couldn't hurt Shi Yueying. However, she had already pinned him down. Their dragon bodies kept rolling on the ground, raising a cloud of dust. Their dragon tails intertwined, and they actually began to fight with pure strength. Stop, 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 stop. Shi Yutong shouted from the side, Big sister, didn't you want to teach him how to use the heavenly Saint Halberd? He should have understood it just now. There's no need to fight anymore. If you continue, the 2 of you will be in trouble. Only then did the 2 of them react. They discovered that their dragon bodies were actually intertwined, and the black dragon was pinned down by Shi Yueying's frost divine dragon. Let's recover. The two of them exchanged a glance with their divine dragon eyes, and then they both dispelled their dragon transformation state, returning to their human form. The two giant dragons shrank, and very soon, they returned to their human form. And these two human forms were also entangled with each other in a very strange posture. Even the cold Shi Yueying couldn't help but blush. She quickly stood up and retreated with the heavenly saint halberd. Kang Shinmu also stood up and recalled the battle just now. He had a rough idea of how to use the heavenly saint's halberd. The sky saint's halberd could be used in tandem with one's innate ability. When the two powers were intertwined together, the prowess of the halberd of the sky saint would be doubled. If not for the heavenly saint's halberd, Kang Shinmu would only need 2 claw strikes to deal with Shi Yueying. But with the heavenly saint's halberd, she managed to hold off Kang Shinmu for such a long time. If I can use the heavenly saint's halberd, the devouring power will be even stronger. More importantly, the heavenly saint's halberd's offensive ability is stronger, and it will be easier for it to break through the opponent's defense, allowing my devouring power to enter. Kang Shinmu thought to himself and nodded. Take it. Shi Yueying tossed the heavenly saint's halberd to Kang Shinmu. Thank you. Kang Shinmu thanked him. Thank you, father. Shi Yueying said coldly. I have a favor to ask of you. Kang Shinmu continued, for the next 3 days, how about we cultivate together? I want to try devouring the frost power in your body. It should increase my resistance against frost power, and my chances of winning against Xia Tianhan will be higher. Shi Yueying was already used to cultivating with Kang Shinmu, but she had never let him devour the frost power in her body. Shi Yueying frowned and asked, will this affect me? Kang Shinmu said, as long as you suppress the devouring speed, you will be fine, just like how you used the dragon martial skill to exhaust your innate ability. Shi Yueying nodded, then it's fine, come. Shi Yutong looked at the two discussing from the side, and couldn't help but feel curious. Big sister, what are you two talking about? For the next 3 days, I will cultivate with him, and after that, he will go fight Xia Tianhan. Shi Yueying explained. You two are going to cultivate together again. Shi Yutong had a strange smile on her face. Go, I'll be leaving first. After saying that, she ran away. Then, Kang Shinmu and Shi Yueying went to the cultivation room again. Since Jiang Shenwu had already transformed into a heavenly dragon, he could no longer use the previous cultivation room. The main reason was that his dragon form had grown bigger. Originally, the cultivation room was only suitable for true dragon-level dragon martial artists to cultivate. Therefore, Kang Shinmu went to another larger cultivation room, transformed into a 100-zhang-long black dragon, and familiarized himself with the heavenly sacred halberd. Golden halberd light constantly burst out, but was blocked by the cultivation room's defensive array. With his current strength, it was impossible to break the cultivation room's defense. After all, this was a defense set up by an existence on the level of the Holy Dragon, or even the Dragon King. Moreover, Kang Shinmu was only at the 8th layer of the Dragon Ascension realm. Come. Kang Shinmu beckoned for Shi Yueying to come over in her dragon form, and the two divine dragons touched each other in the cultivation room. Shi Yueying opened her mind to Kang Shinmu, and did not put up any defense against him, showing her complete trust in him. Then, Kang Shinmu began to devour a small amount of ice power from her divine dragon body at an extremely slow speed. After I devour this power, it seems to be able to permanently increase my defense against ice attribute power. It can be seen that this innate power is an extremely special existence. Kang Shinmu quickly discovered the uniqueness of this ice power. 5 Extremes Mysterious Ice Power. A name of power appeared in Kang Shinmu's mind, as if it was transmitted by the Black Dragon's consciousness. What kind of power was this? Kang Shinmu still did not know what this power represented. He only knew that if he could continue to devour Shi Yueying's innate power, it would be extremely beneficial to him. Shi Yueying also did not know the nature of her innate power. She only felt that her innate power seemed to be different from the ordinary power of ice. However, she could not tell what exactly was the difference. Clearly, this kind of power was not something that people at the level of the Dragon Prison City could see. Most likely, she would have to go to the Yen Dragon Emperor's dynasty, or even higher to come into contact with it. For 3 days, Kang Shinmu familiarized himself with the halberd of the Heavenly Saint while slowly devouring the 5 extremes' mysterious ice power. Shi Yueying, on the other hand, quietly accompanied him and did not say anything. If it was a long period of cultivation, she would definitely not be able to accept it, but if it was just for these 3 days, she could reluctantly agree. 3 days later, Kang Shinmu finally came out of seclusion. At this moment, there were even some sparkling and translucent ice droplets on the surface of his black dragon body. These ice droplets looked inconspicuous, but they were indeed there. Moreover, they increased Kang Shinmu's resistance to ice attribute innate power by a lot. Chapter 39-19. In the central arena of Dragon Prison City. This was the arena where tens of thousands of dragon martialists gathered. Almost every day, powerful dragon martialists of Dragon Prison City would fight in the arena, displaying their terrifying strength. On this day, countless dragon martialists came from all over Dragon Prison City to watch. Because today was the day of the duel between Xia Tianhan and Kang Shinmu. Not many people paid attention to the reason for the duel, because everyone knew that this duel represented the pride of both the Shi clan and the Xia clan. Xia Tianhan was the young master of the Xia clan. Now that he had reached the divine martial realm, he was extremely powerful. As for Kang Shinmu, he was rumored to be the young man who had saved the daughter of the sacred dragon Shi Tao and had been taken into the Shi clan residence to be nurtured. Neither side was considered the strongest of the younger generation in their respective residences, but they were very representative. Because it was rumored that both sides were using a dragon-grade dragon weapon. For Kang Shinmu, he was using the sacred halberd of the Shi clan residence. For Xia Tianhan, he was using the Ice Origin spiritual wheel. The Ice Origin spiritual wheel was also a dragon-grade dragon weapon and was one of the treasures of the Xia clan residence. It was rarely used, but for this duel, the Xia clan residents had temporarily given it to Xia Tianhan for him to use. Ha ha ha. Xia Yan, since you like to cause trouble, I'll accompany you. Sacred Dragon Shi Tao arrived at the central arena with Kang Shinmu, Shi Yueying, and the others. He looked at the large group of dragon martialists in the Xia clan residence and laughed. Sacred Dragon Xia Yan was another sacred dragon expert of Dragon Prison City and the master of the Xia clan residence. In terms of strength, he was almost on par with Shi Tao. Dressed in a golden robe, Xia Yan exuded the majesty of an emperor. His brows were thick, and he exuded a majestic aura. Seeing Sacred Dragon Shi Tao fly over, Xia Yan snorted coldly. Kang Shinmu of your residence stole my son Xia Tianhan's dragon chi crystal, and you still have the cheek to blame me for causing trouble? You know what the truth is. Shi Tao looked around at the tens of thousands of dragon martial artists who had come to watch the battle and said in a thunderous voice, in Dragon Bone Valley, Kang Shinmu killed the Blood Edge gang by himself. Not only did Xia Tianhan not help us, he even stood on the side of bloodshed and wanted to kill Kang Shinmu of my house. Now he's making a false accusation. What a joke, ha ha ha. Cut the crap. This kind of thing can't be explained clearly. Let's settle it with a duel. In the next moment, Xia Tianhan stepped onto the stage. It was the handsome young man who had transformed into the Ice Divine Dragon. Kang Shinmu had met him back in Dragon Bone Valley. Back then, he wasn't a match for the Golden Dragon Lion Sky Demon, but he refused Kang Shinmu's help. He even joined forces with Bloodshed in an attempt to kill him. If he wasn't strong enough, he would have died in Dragon Bone Valley. Although this was a blessing in disguise, since the other party wanted a duel, Kang Shinmu wouldn't back down. Rumor has it that you've obtained a dragon-grade weapon, the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel. Why don't we add some stakes to this duel? Otherwise, it'll be too boring. Why don't we use our dragon-grade weapons as the wager? Kang Shinmu said calmly as he stepped onto the central arena. His words were filled with boundless pressure, causing Xia Tianhan's expression to change. Using a dragon weapon as the wager? Such a wager was a little too big, and it wasn't something they could decide. For Xia Yan, the importance of the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel was even greater than Xia Tianhan himself. After all, he only had a few dragon weapons, but he had dozens of sons. Xia Tianhan was just one of them. Therefore, Xia Tianhan didn't dare to make the decision. He turned around and glanced at Xia Yan, only to find that Xia Yan's gaze was calm. Instead, he was looking at Shi Tao. Neither Xia Tianhan nor Kang Shinmu could decide on the wager. In the end, it would still be decided by the two sacred dragons. Is this kid really that confident? Shi Tao was also startled by Kang Shinmu's words. However, after careful consideration, he smiled faintly and nodded. I'm fine with it. It's just a dragon-grade weapon. It's not that I can't afford to lose. Furthermore, Xia Tianhan has no chance of winning this duel. Ha ha ha. Xia Yan, do you dare to bet? He's that confident? Even some of the Shi clan's sacred dragons paled. They'd completely underestimated how much importance Shi Tao placed on Kang Shinmu. He'd actually allowed that kid to use his dragon weapon as a wager. If he lost, it would be a huge loss to the Shi clan. Not only would they lose face, but they'd also lose their dragon weapon. Milord, is this all right? This kid's strength hasn't been tested yet. If he loses. That's right. No matter what, he's an outsider. He's not one of us. Who knows, he might even be a spy sent by the Xia clan. If that's the case, wouldn't we be losing a dragon-grade weapon? Many of the Shi clan's sacred dragons tried to persuade him. Shi Yueying stood beside Shi Tao. She had no right to speak on such an occasion. After all, she was only Shi Tao's daughter. The sacred dragons behind her were the backbone of the Shi clan. Each of them was an inheritor of the sacred dragon's blood essence. They were at least at the divine martial realm, and some were even at the nirvana tribulation realm. Even Shi Tao had to listen to the opinions of these people on some matters. However, the dragon-grade weapon, the halberd of heavenly saints, was completely Shi Tao's. There was no need to seek their consent. Shi Tao raised his hand, indicating for the crowd to keep quiet. Immediately, no one said anything else. However, seeing Shi Tao's determination, many sighed inwardly. They felt that the Shi clan was going to suffer a huge loss this time. As for Xia Yan, he couldn't help but narrow his eyes when he saw Shi Tao agree so calmly. Many of the Xia clan's sacred dragons didn't dare to say anything else. It was rare to see a battle with a dragon-grade weapon as a wager in the entire dragon prison city. Moreover, this duel was between a Dragon Ascension Realm expert and a junior who had just entered the Divine Martial Realm. Was it really appropriate to use a dragon-grade weapon as a wager in a duel? More importantly, Shi Tao had agreed without hesitation. Just how strong could that boy named Kang Shinmu be? However, that boy is only at the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension Realm. It'll be too difficult for him to defeat Xia Tianhan. That's right. In terms of dragon-grade weapons, he won't have an advantage. Xia Tianhan is at the Divine Martial Realm, much stronger than a Dragon Ascension Realm expert. There shouldn't be a problem. Let's see what your excellency decides. Many of the sacred dragons turned to look at Xia Yan. Interesting. Xia Yan finally paid attention to Kang Shinmu. From the look in Shi Tao's eyes, he could tell that this was a wager that the boy had thought of on the spot, and not something Shi Tao had planned in advance. Chapter 39-20. Saint Dragon Xia Yan pondered for a moment and slowly nodded. Then let's use the dragon weapon as the wager. The winner will get the dragon-grade dragon weapon of the loser. Now, let the battle begin. At this point, Xia Yan could not lose face to Shi Tao. Since Shi Tao had agreed to the wager, Xia Yan had to agree as well. Otherwise, if word got out that the Xia clan residence was inferior to the Shi clan residence, his reputation would be greatly affected. Moreover, Xia Yan did not think that Xia Tianhan would lose to Kang Xinmu. After all, Xia Tianhan was now a powerful dragon martial artist who had stepped into the divine martial realm. Even if it was just the inherited blood essence of a real dragon, it was enough to deal with a sky dragon in the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm. Begin. Kill. When Xia Yan nodded and agreed to the bet, Jiang Shenwu's eyes revealed a cold glint. He tossed the heavenly saint's halberd into the sky, and then his entire body transformed into a 300 long pitch black divine dragon that swept towards Xia Tianhan. The heavenly sacred halberd turned into a golden light in mid-air and covered the black divine dragon. It was as if a divine dragon had descended to the mortal world, dazzling with golden light and imposing manner. Xia Tianhan bellowed. He did not believe that he would lose to a Dragon Ascension realm brat. With the Ice Origin spiritual wheel, he could definitely kill this brat. Ice Yuan spiritual wheel, combine. In the past 3 days, he had also comprehended the combination of the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel and was able to use this dragon-grade dragon weapon with great proficiency. The circular Ice Yuan spiritual wheel instantly turned into countless light blue ice crystals and covered Xia Tianhan's body. The ice crystals made his body, which was originally 350 feet long, grow one after another. Soon, he became an Ice Yuan spiritual wheel. There was a difference in the grade of their divine dragons, but from the looks of it, Xia Tianhan did not lose to Jiang Shenwu by much. Both of them had similar physiques, and the ice crystal dragon body that was expanded by the Ice Origin spiritual wheel exuded a terrifying power of frost, which was extremely cold. Roaring Sky Dragon Claw. Without any hesitation, Kang Xinmu used the Roaring Sky Dragon Claw. The power from the heavenly saint's halberd condensed into a golden light that accompanied his Roaring Sky Dragon Claw. It was as if a divine dragon's claw had descended from the 9 heavens and landed on the body of Xia Tianhan's ice divine dragon. Mysterious Ice Defense. Xia Tianhan let out a divine dragon roar, and layers of mysterious ice appeared in front of his divine dragon body, blocking the howling sky dragon claw. With the help of the Ice Origin spiritual wheel, the profound ice defense's defensive ability was at least twice as strong as before. Xia Tianhan was confident that she could withstand Jiang Shenwu's dragon martial skill. Break. Kang Xinmu's eyes flashed. At this moment it was as if he had touched upon the profoundness of the divine dragon's claw, causing his roaring sky dragon's claw to suddenly break through the bottleneck, advancing from the human grade to the earth grade. Countless silhouettes of dragon claws appeared from all directions, bringing with them a dazzling golden light. Initially, there was only one dragon claw, but now, there were countless of them. This was the roaring sky dragon's claw that had broken through to the earth grade. Even though it was only a grade 5 dragon martial skill, as long as it could be upgraded, it would still possess a powerful destructive power. The roaring sky dragon's claw easily shattered the layers of mysterious ice defense, and then, it suddenly appeared in front of the ice divine dragon. Xia Tianhan was shocked. He did not expect Kang Xinmu's strength to be so terrifying, but it was only with the help of the heavenly saint's halberd. Even if he had broken through to the earth grade, his roaring sky dragon's claw alone would not be so powerful. However, Xia Tianhan did not panic. Instead, he swung his tail with a calm expression. The dragon's tail flew towards Kang Xinmu, condensing and forming an ice mountain. This ice mountain carried with it an extremely cold chi, making it hard for Kang Xinmu to move, as if he had sunk into 1,000 years of ice. Halberd of the Heavenly Saint, condense. In the next moment, a shining golden halberd condensed in front of the ice mountain and pierced towards it. In the next moment, the ice mountain was completely shattered. As the golden light shone, the mysterious ice energy scattered everywhere. Take another strike from me. Xia Tianhan roared, and another ice mountain fell from above Kang Xinmu's head at an extremely fast speed. It seems that Xia Tianhan has the upper hand. Even if Kang Xinmu managed to break through to the dragon martial skill, it will still be too difficult for him to defeat Xia Tianhan. That's right. There is a gap between their cultivation levels. Even if they are evenly matched, Xia Tianhan will still have the upper hand in the end. He will not die from exhaustion. In a battle with a dragon-grade dragon weapon, it would be difficult for Kang Xinmu to even get close to his opponent. However, he still had a backup plan and did not use his full strength. He wanted to see how strong Xia Tianhan was. It seems that your strength is only so-so. Xia Tianhan sneered as he watched another ice mountain being shattered by the halberd of the heavenly saint. After probing, he already understood Kang Xinmu's current strength. Even if Kang Xinmu was holding back, he was no longer afraid of Kang Xinmu going all out. This was because he, too, did not use his full strength. Void Ice Annihilation. Xia Tianhan's Frost Divine Dragon roared at the sky. The Frost Divine runes on his body actually condensed around Kang Xinmu's body, continuously forming ice spikes. In the blink of an eye, countless ice spikes formed, and like a torrential downpour, they pierced towards Jiang Shenwu from all directions. Magic crystals, appear. Kang Xinmu's expression was cold. He did not care too much about his opponent's means. Purple magic crystals continuously appeared on the surface of his body, and under the dazzling golden light, they easily covered the entire body of the black dragon. The countless ice spikes rained down, bombarding and shattering the golden light. However, by the time they landed on the purple magic crystals, they had lost much of their offensive power and shattered into pieces outside the magic crystals. Void Ice Annihilation. Seeing this, Xia Tianhan pushed the power of the Ice Origin spiritual wheel to the limit. His eyes were filled with endless killing intent. In the next moment, countless ice pillars appeared around Kang Xinmu, trying to lock him in and seal him within them. Too naive. Kang Xinmu snorted coldly. His body flickered nimbly, and in the next moment, an afterimage was formed on the spot. His entire body suddenly erupted with a terrifying speed, rushing towards Xia Tianhan. Xia Tianhan was still focused on his Void Ice Annihilation, wondering if it could freeze Kang Xinmu. He did not expect Kang Xinmu to erupt with such terrifying speed in an instant, and could not react in time. Halberd of the Heavenly Saint. Dragon Claw of the Roaring Sky. Kang Xinmu finally got close to his opponent's body. The dragon claw shone with golden light, and one turned into two turned into four. Countless golden dragon claws shot out, instantly shattering the ice crystals on the surface of the Frost Divine Dragon. Chapter 39-21. The intense battle between the two sides caused many of the dragon martial artists in the arena to be overwhelmed with emotions. Although many dragon warriors were much stronger than the two on the stage, it was rare to see a battle like this. After all, it was a battle between the Xia clan and the Shi clan, and it was a battle between a Dragon Ascension Realm Heavenly Dragon and a Divine Martial Realm True Dragon. Most importantly, this battle had two Dragon Mark combat weapons on the line. This made the battle even more exciting, and incomparably moving. Everyone's attention was drawn to the battle, especially to which side would lose the dragon-grade weapon. For the winner, it was a great encouragement, and for the loser, his reputation in Dragon Prison City would fall. This was a very normal thing. Of course, the most important thing was strength. A dragon-grade dragon weapon could double the strength of a dragon warrior. It was already amazing for the powerful clans in Dragon Prison City to have 3 to 5 dragon-grade weapons. To these clans, a dragon-grade weapon was an extremely precious resource. Who will win? I can't tell yet, but both sides are evenly matched. Isn't that so? According to their strength, a heavenly dragon at the 8th level of the Dragon Ascension Realm and a true dragon at the 1st level of the Divine Martial Realm are almost the same. Even with the dragon grade, both sides have their own dragon grade weapons, and they can use them skillfully. There is still a lot of suspense to determine the winner. No, if this drags on, Xia Tianhan will definitely win. A divine martial realm dragon warrior's strength is much stronger than a dragon ascension realm dragon warrior's. I think so too. When Kang Shinmu's strength is exhausted, he will lose to Xia Tianhan. I'm afraid he will die on the spot. If he loses a battle involving a dragon-grade weapon, I'm afraid Shi Tao will not care about his life or death. Many dragon warriors who were watching the battle discussed. The battle in the arena was getting more and more intense. When Jiang Shenwu displayed the Earth Realm Void-piercing Dragon Shadow Dragon martial technique, he constantly created afterimages to confuse his opponent. Relying on his faster speed, he attacked Xia Tianhan. Every time he launched an attack, it would be blocked by the power of the Ice Origin Spiritual Wheel, but Kang Shinmu was also using the Heavenly Saint Halberd to launch attacks, so he didn't exhaust too much of his energy. Don't use the devouring power if you can. I feel that I am now facing a bottleneck. If I continue to fight, I might be able to step into the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm. Kang Shinmu's eyes lit up. If he could reach the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm, he would have no problem dealing with Xia Tianhan, and he would not even need to use his devouring power. If Jiang Shenwu were to use his devouring power now, he would be able to kill Xia Tianhan easily. However, he did not want his innate talent to be exposed in front of so many people. There was no need for him to use his trump card in a one-on-one duel against an opponent that he could defeat with ordinary means. Void Ice Killing. Xia Tianhan once again used his killer move. Countless ice spikes appeared once more, and they shot towards Kang Shinmu. Kang Shinmu turned his body in an instant, leaving an afterimage where he stood. The countless ice spikes shot towards Xia Tianhan, giving him a fright. He quickly dodged to the side. At this time, Kang Shinmu suddenly turned his head, and the Heavenly Saint Halberd shone with a golden light, condensed into a huge halberd, and smashed down. Xia Tianhan hurriedly moved. Her Ice Origin Spiritual Wheel erupted and formed an Ice Moon Wheel. It flew out in an instant and collided with the golden halberd. Amidst a loud boom, both divine dragons were sent flying backward. This needs to be more intense. Kang Shinmu's divine dragon eyes were calm and composed. So far, everything was going according to his plan. A true dragon martial artist of the divine martial realm had about the same amount of power. Even with the addition of a dragon-grade dragon weapon and the Ice Origin Spiritual Wheel, the power he could exert was still within Kang Shinmu's expectations. He rushed towards his opponent's divine dragon body, and a golden light shone from his body. It was as if a golden dragon had descended to the world, tearing through the air. Half of Xia Tianhan's ice divine dragon's body had been shattered, but it was the ice crystals condensed by the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel that had shattered. Xia Tianhan himself was not injured. Seeing this, he continued to activate the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel. Countless icebergs rose from below, blocking Jiang Shenwu's path. In an instant, the golden light exploded and the ice crystals shattered. Powerful forces clashed with each other, but Kang Shinmu was not afraid at all. He charged through the whirlpool of power and crashed into Xia Tianhan's divine dragon body. Boundless power of ice emerged in an instant. Xia Tianhan once again used the dragon martial technique, attacking Kang Shinmu with the power of ice. However, the power of ice was not much of a threat to Kang Shinmu. With the help of the halberd of Heavenly Saint, he could not care less about his opponent's attack. Jiang Shenwu's dragon claws forcefully grabbed onto the body of his opponent's divine dragon. Boundless golden light condensed into a slender halberd, instantly shattering the ice crystals on the surface of Xia Han's body with an extremely strong penetrative force. Then, it pierced through the divine dragon's body in one fell swoop. Although it was only a small hole, it was enough for Kang Shinmu. Under special circumstances, he could use his devouring power to corrode his opponent's body and kill him as quickly as possible. At the same time, he could recover. However, he did not use his devouring power right now. Xia Tianhan's strength surged, and the power of ice condensed into an icicle that knocked away Kang Shinmu's black dragon body. Kang Shinmu fell to the ground with a loud rumble. Is the winner about to be decided? Many of the dragon martial artists who were watching craned their necks to see what was happening to Kang Shinmu. Everyone in the Shi clan's residence felt their hearts tremble. They had a bad feeling. Was Kang Shinmu going to lose just like that? But soon, something unexpected happened. On the ground of the martial arena, Kang Shinmu's black dragon body began to change. His dragon claws extended and became sharper than before. The overall aura of the black dragon that Kang Shinmu had transformed into was also in a state of rising. This made many people's hearts skip a beat. They could see that Kang Shinmu was making a breakthrough under such circumstances. He was advancing from the 8th stage of the Dragon Ascension realm to the 9th stage. The last transformation of the 9 transformations of the Dragon Ascension realm was about to be completed, allowing him to step onto the top of the Dragon Ascension realm. He actually made a breakthrough at this time. Unbelievable. When he was at the 8th stage of the Dragon Ascension realm, he was able to fight Xia Tianhan to a draw. Now that he has made a breakthrough, doesn't that mean he has the upper hand? I'm afraid the tables are turning. Chapter 39-22. However, no one could stop the changes that were taking place in the arena. As soon as Kang Shinmu's transformation began, the aura of the black dragon skyrocketed, startling all the dragon martialists who were watching the battle. This kind of surge in aura was definitely a sign of a breakthrough. Xia Tianhan, stop him! Xia Yan bellowed. He was not willing to see such a situation happen. If Kang Shinmu succeeded in his breakthrough and killed Xia Tianhan in the arena, it would be a huge blow to the Xia family mansion. Therefore, the only way was to stop Kang Shinmu's transformation in the arena. Don't worry. Xia Tianhan's eyes were filled with malice. How dare you break through in front of me? You're really bold. I remember that you were only at 7th level of the Dragon Ascension realm when you first broke through. How could I let you break through twice in such a short time? The Ice Origin Spirit Wheel erupted with a burst of boundless icy rain, descending from the sky and assaulting Jiang Shenwu below. The temperature of the entire arena plummeted in an instant, as if winter had arrived. Endless icicles rained down, continuously striking the body of the black dragon that Jiang Shenwu had transformed into. However, as Kang Shinmu broke through, he continued to drive the Heavenly Saint's halberd. The sky was filled with golden rays that formed a golden canopy that rose into the sky, blocking the icicles from hitting him. Under the obstruction of the golden canopy, Kang Shinmu continued to transform. His dragon claws became sharper and his aura rose higher and higher, quickly surpassing Xia Tianhan. Go to hell. The ice divine dragon that Xia Tianhan had transformed into was instantly enraged. He had used all kinds of techniques, but he could not do anything to Jiang Shenwu. If Jiang Shenwu successfully broke through, wouldn't he lose for sure? Seeing the Ice Origin Spirit Wheel being suppressed and pushed away by the Heavenly Saint's halberd, Xia Tianhan's dragon body charged straight at Jiang Shenwu, barging into the golden canopy. Countless ice crystals on the dragon's body were sliced and melted by the golden canopy, but since they were formed by the Ice Origin Spirit Wheel, they were unable to harm Xia Tianhan's body. When Xia Tianhan broke through the golden canopy and crashed into Kang Shinmu, the ice spiritual wheel in his hand radiated an icy light that spread into a layer of ice, trying to trap Kang Shinmu within it. Get lost. Kang Shinmu was in the midst of his breakthrough, but he could still sense the outside world. His divine dragon form tumbled, and the terrifying strength of his divine dragon body sent Xia Tianhan flying. Then, his aura skyrocketed, and the golden radiance of the Heavenly Saint's halberd exploded, forming a golden halo that spread in all directions. Xia Tianhan hurriedly activated the ice spiritual wheel in an attempt to block the golden halo, only to find that the other party's strength was far beyond his imagination, and he was unable to block it. The entire divine dragon fell backward, crashing heavily into the defensive array at the edge of the martial arena, and then fell stiffly onto the stage. On the other hand, Kang Shinmu's breakthrough process was finally over, and he had stepped into the 9th level of the Dragon Ascension Realm, the pinnacle of the Dragon Ascension Realm. The aura of the Black Dragon was completely different from before. The Divine Dragon's claws were sharper, gleaming coldly, and the eyes of the Divine Dragon were dark and deep, as if they contained the vast secluded night universe, exuding a mysterious aura. The golden radiance of the Heavenly Saint's halberd continued to condense around the body of the Black Dragon. Golden halberds appeared one after another, and with a single thought from Kang Shinmu, they pierced toward Xia Tianhan. No. Xia Yan found it hard to believe. How could Xia Tianhan be so weak? Logically speaking, the absolute combat strength of both parties was about the same, and as long as he persevered, he would be able to win, but Xia Tianhan was so weak that he could not even stop his opponent from breaking through. The speed of this child's breakthrough is too fast. Someone from the Xia clan estate said with a solemn expression. At this moment, Xia Tianhan was at a complete disadvantage. Countless layers of ice appeared in an attempt to block the golden halberds, but they were unable to do so. As Kang Shinmu's cultivation increased, the power of the Heavenly Saint's halberd also increased. More and more golden halberds pierced towards Xia Tianhan. Xia Tianhan could no longer block them, and the body of the ice dragon soared into the air in an attempt to escape. Even the power of the Ice Yuan's spiritual wheel could not withstand the fatal penetrative power of Kang Shinmu's golden halberds. Unfortunately, the golden halberds quickly changed direction and continued to fly toward the ice dragon, piercing through it in an instant. More than 10 golden halberds pierced through the ice dragon, and dragon blood splattered everywhere. It's about time to announce the winner. The holy dragon Shitao was in a good mood. This was because Kang Shinmu had made a breakthrough in the midst of battle and easily defeated Xia Tianhan. This was extremely good news for the Shi clan estate. Not only would they gain face, but they would also be able to obtain a dragon-grade weapon, the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel. As a result, the overall strength of the Shi clan estate would surpass that of the Xia clan estate. Hold it. The holy dragon Xia Yan snorted coldly. The victor has not been decided yet. How can we announce the winner? Xia Tianhan, stand up and kill that brat. Xia Yan's voice was already tinged with anger. Xia Tianhan was his son, but he was only one of the few that did not amount to much in his eyes. For a holy dragon, the fact that he had given birth to a son with the blood essence of a pure-blooded true dragon was already very displeasing to him. Xia Tianhan trembled when he heard this. His entire body had been pierced by the Heavenly Saint's halberd, and if he was not treated in time, he would likely die. Even under such circumstances, his father still wanted him to continue fighting. Go to hell. Xia Tianhan's eyes were red with fury as he dragged his heavily injured body and flew toward Kang Shinmu. Oh no, he's going to self-destruct. Many of the Shi clan estate's dragon martialists immediately sensed that something was wrong. If Xia Tianhan were to self-destruct, the final outcome would most likely be mutual destruction, and there would be no victor in this battle. To Xia Yan, such an outcome was obviously much better than Xia Tianhan losing directly. In other words, between Xia Tianhan and the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel and his reputation, Xia Yan had chosen the latter and given up on his son. Kang Shinmu, watch out! Shi Yutong and Shi Yueying shouted at the same time. The situation was critical, but they could not do anything to help. Even their father, the holy dragon Shi Tao, could not help. This was a fair duel in the arena, and no one could interfere. Die! Xia Tianhan was filled with endless resentment. The frost talent in his body continued to condense, and in the next moment, it exploded. The body of the frost divine dragon instantly exploded into pieces. Chapter 39-23. Kang Shinmu's entire black dragon body was completely enveloped by the surging power of ice. The entire arena had become a world of snowstorms. The dragon martialists outside the arena could not see what was happening in the arena at all. Kang Xinmu, Shi Yueying and Shi Yutong, the two girls, felt their hearts in their throats. They had not expected Xia Tianhan to choose to self-destruct at the last moment. Moreover, the sacred dragon Xia Yan was too ruthless to make his son self-destruct. Xia Yan and Shi Tao were different. Xia Yan had dozens of children, but Shi Tao only had 3 sons besides his 2 daughters, Shi Yueying and Shi Yutong. All of them were inheritors of the heavenly dragon blood essence, so they could be considered relatively harmonious. In the Xia clan residence where Xia Yan resided, the children of the divine dragon powerhouse were constantly fighting for the cultivation resources of the Xia clan residence. The overall environment was extremely competitive, causing people like Xia Tianhan to have to resort to some devious ideas if he wanted to stand out. Unfortunately, thinking of Kang Xinmu was the biggest mistake of his life. Not only did he not gain any benefits, but he also self-destructed in front of countless dragon martialists in the arena. Most importantly, Xia Yan's father had made him self-destruct. To him, this was the greatest pain of his life. But now that he had self-destructed, the one to bear the pain was Kang Xinmu. Sacred Dragon Shi Tao's expression was solemn as he looked at the arena. As long as Kang Xinmu did not die this time, Kang Xinmu would definitely become famous in Dragon Prison City. Although he would offend the Xia clan mansion, he would also gain Shi Tao's trust and respect. Needless to say, he would also obtain a dragon-grade dragon weapon, the Ice Yuan spiritual wheel. It was impossible for a dragon-grade dragon weapon to be destroyed by such a self-destruct. In the end, it all depended on whether Kang Xinmu could withstand it. Although Kang Xinmu was already a dragon martialist with the heavenly dragon blood essence, he was still not at the divine martial realm. It should be known that dragon martialists at the divine martial realm had extremely strong internal strength. Moreover, he had self-destructed in the narrow arena, allowing his internal strength to erupt to the maximum. The group of dragon warriors in the Shi clan residence all started to worry. Although they didn't think highly of Kang Xinmu, they still didn't want Kang Xinmu to die. After all, he represented the Shi clan. As long as Kang Xinmu survives, the Shi clan residents would be able to suppress the Xia clan residents in Dragon Prison City. But if Kang Xinmu died, both sides could only be considered to be tied. This battle would be a loss for both sides. After all, one side had lost a son, and the other side had lost a promising young genius. On the battlefield, Kang Xinmu, who had transformed into a black dragon, shone with a golden light and purple magic crystals kept appearing on the surface of his body. Before participating in this battle, Jiang Shenwu had prepared 3 sky phase Fei cores in order to prevent such a situation from happening. In a normal battle, under the watchful eyes of the public, it was impossible for him to use the heavenly demon's demon core to heal his injuries. After all, this was a battle on the martial arts arena. Swallowing elixirs was against the rules. Moreover, he did not want to expose his devouring power. But now, the entire arena was shrouded in the power of ice. No one could see the situation in the arena clearly, not even Xinglong. This was because the power of ice produced by Xia Tianhan's self-destruction had already covered the entire arena. Ice crystals danced in the air, and a violent wave of ice surged violently in the arena. The golden light from the heavenly saint's halberd enveloped Kang Xinmu, who had transformed into a black dragon. Under the cover of the purple magic crystals, he directly swallowed the 3 sky Fei cores and absorbed the tyrannical energy within them with his devouring power. The heavenly vault energy contained in the sky Fei cores was continuously absorbed into Kang Xinmu's body, and then the purple magic crystals that had been shattered by the endless ice rapidly recovered. Previously at the Dragon Remains ruins, Kang Xinmu had swallowed 1 sky Fei core, which was enough to prevent Lu Yufei from killing him no matter what. Now that he had swallowed 3 sky Fei cores at once, his recovery ability was completely unleashed, and it was terrifying to the extreme. The endless ice and snow made the golden light of the heavenly saint's halberd unable to withstand it at all. Even the purple magic crystals were starting to falter, but with the help of the 3 sky Fei cores, Kang Shinmu forcibly produced the purple magic crystals. Even if it was too late, the violent power of ice could not cause fatal injuries to Kang Shinmu. Fortunately, I asked Shitao for 3 Sky Fei cores before I went on stage. These 3 Sky Fei cores are probably worth tens of thousands of dragon coins, but they saved my life. If not for these 3 Sky Fei cores, Kang Shinmu would definitely not have been able to withstand it no matter what. Originally, he had done it just in case something went wrong, but now it seemed that this decision was very wise. However, this way, Shitao would be able to guess something. After all, after he got off the stage, there would definitely be no more Sky Fei cores. Shitao would definitely be able to sense the aura of the Sky Fei cores that he took out and see through it at a glance. Then, some things could be guessed and some signs could be seen. However, Kang Shinmu was not worried, because just based on this point, Shitao would not be able to guess too much. At most, he would know that he could heal by swallowing the Sky Fei cores. In any case, Shi Yueying already knew about this, so Kang Shinmu did not particularly care. As long as he could not expose the fact that he could increase the grade of the Divine Dragon's blood essence by swallowing the Divine Dragon's corpse, this was something that Kang Shinmu could accept. Otherwise, he would become the enemy of all dragon martial artists, and there would be no place for him in the vast Yen Dragon Emperor Empire. He could not even reveal it to the people closest to him, including his mother, Gu Yuero. It was not that he was worried that Gu Yuero would reveal it, but knowing this would not be beneficial to her, and might even bring disaster. In the arena, the snowstorm gradually dissipated. Outside the arena, all the dragon martial artists were looking forward, knowing that the final result would be revealed very soon. They first looked at the ground in the arena. After all, if Kang Shinmu could die, he would definitely die on the ground, but they did not find any traces of the black dragon on the ground. Then, everyone looked up and saw that in mid-air above the arena, the hundreds of feet-long black dragon was surrounded by golden light and covered by purple demon crystals. They reflected each other, releasing a mystical glow. He's still alive. Everyone was shocked. Shi Yueying and Shi Yutong heaved a sigh of relief, especially Shi Yueying. Although she guessed that nothing would happen to Kang Shinmu, she was indeed very worried just now. Now that she saw the black dragon flying in midair like a king, she could not help but smile. Sister, you actually smiled, he he he. Shi Yutong pursed her lips and giggled. Shi Yueying immediately withdrew her smile and returned to her cold appearance, but the joy in her eyes could not be concealed. Chapter 39-24. When Kang Shinmu, who had transformed into a black dragon, appeared before the eyes of the onlookers, countless people exclaimed in surprise. Everyone in the Shi clan residence heaved a sigh of relief. Since Kang Shinmu had survived, Kang Shinmu had won the duel, which also meant that the Shi clan residence had won. The other party's dragon-grade dragon weapon, the Ice Origin Spiritual Wheel, would belong to the Shi clan residence. Moreover, the holy dragon Xia Yan's son had died in this battle. Although Xia Tianhan was not valued by him, the boy's worthless death still made Xia Yan's heart ache. Most importantly, this wager was initiated by the Xia clan residents, which made them lose even more face. Humph. The holy dragon Xia Yan glared fiercely at Kang Shinmu in the arena, then turned around and left with his people. As for the Ice Origin Spiritual Wheel in the arena, he naturally did not have the qualifications to take it away. He could only leave it for the Shi clan residents. Although Xia Yan was furious, he did not have the cheek to go back on his words in front of so many people. Haha. Shi Tao, on the other hand, laughed out loud and clapped his hands in celebration. The group of dragon warriors from the Shi clan estate behind him also laughed out loud. Today's battle was simply too exciting. The key was not the battle, but the Xia clan estate's face. The other party had framed Kang Shinmu and said that Kang Shinmu had stolen his dragon energy crystal, but that was not the truth. This was already infuriating. Now that the framer had died in the arena under his father's orders, he had self-destructed and died. He must have been in extreme pain before he died and must have regretted initiating this wager. Originally, Xia Tianhan had thought that Kang Xinmu would be easy to deal with. He did not expect that Kang Xinmu's combat strength would far exceed his expectations. He did not expect that Kang Xinmu would be able to make a breakthrough, leaving him without any ability to resist. If he did not self-destruct, there would be no place for him to hide even if he returned to the Xia clan residence alive in such a humiliating situation. Therefore, it was more straightforward to die by self-detonation. Kang Xinmu returned to his human form and slowly walked down the stage. He casually picked up the ice elemental spiritual wheel that had fallen on the stage. The dragon-grade dragon weapon was a ring-shaped ice crystal that emitted a dense icy aura. As soon as he walked down, Holy Dragon Shi Tao led his people to welcome him. Hee, Kang Xinmu, well done. You've made a great contribution this time. You can keep the dragon-grade dragon weapon you won from the bet. Shi Tao said with a smile. Kang Xinmu was surprised to hear that. He hadn't expected the Holy Dragon Shi Tao to be so generous. However, there had to be a reason behind his generosity. If Shi Tao didn't want to rope in Kang Xinmu and work for him, then he had other intentions. After all, it was impossible for him to be completely kind. It should be noted that even though he was the one who had participated in the battle and he was the one who had proposed the dragon-grade dragon weapon as a wager and won it in the end, he was still on the side of the Shi clan. Thank you. Kang Xinmu was neither humble nor arrogant. However, when he looked at the heavenly sacred halberd in his left hand and the ice elemental spiritual wheel in his right hand, he felt that the heavenly sacred halberd was more suitable for him. However, why don't we change it? Kang Xinmu asked subconsciously. That's fine too. Holy Dragon Shi Tao nodded his head in satisfaction. My daughter has an ice attribute inherent skill. I had always wanted to prepare an ice attribute dragon-level dragon weapon for her, but I never got one. Now that this ice elemental spiritual wheel is in my hands, it's just right. As for the heavenly sacred halberd, you can keep it for yourself. In this way, the ownership of the two dragon-grade dragon weapons was decided. From now on, the heavenly sacred halberd would completely belong to Kang Xinmu, which made him rather happy. With the heavenly sacred halberd, his chances of winning the clan martial competition would be even greater. At the very least, when facing Jiang Liuxue, he would not be at a disadvantage at all. I just wonder what level Jiang Liuxue has reached. And Jiang Yuaning, I wonder how her cultivation is going. Kang Xinmu thought. In the clan martial competition, a total of 17 divine dragon clans from the dragon prison domain participated. The Jiang clan and the Ji clan were only one of them. In the previous clan martial competition, the Jiang clan was basically in the bottom three. Their overall strength was already very weak. The main reason was that after Jiang Zizai's disappearance, there was no successor, including the lack of all kinds of cultivation resources. Without a leader, the entire Jiang clan's momentum gradually declined. As for the Ji clan, Ji Yeshuan had appeared before. In the past 3 years, there hadn't been any strong geniuses appearing, so their overall strength wasn't the strongest. The goal of the clan martial competition is to be able to enter the top few. At the very least, you have to surpass the rest of the Jiang clan. If Kang Xinmu wanted to participate in the clan martial competition, he naturally had to participate in the name of the Jiang clan. After all, this was a matter that concerned the entire Jiang clan. When the time came, he would appear as the inheritor of the heavenly dragon blood essence. Even if Jiang Rong stopped him, the rest of the Jiang clan would definitely agree to let him participate. Otherwise, Jiang Rong's position as patriarch would not be stable for long. In the Jiang clan, Jiang Liuxue is the most recent genius to become a dragon warrior in the past 3 years. In addition to her, there were 2 others in the past years. Their cultivation levels are definitely higher than Jiang Liuxue's. After all, Those who participate in the clan martial competition are juniors who have become dragon warriors in the past 3 years. Their competitors are likely to have cultivated for 3 years. Kang Shinmu thought to himself. He held the halberd of Heavenly Saint tightly, full of confidence. Just this halberd of Heavenly Saint was not something that the juniors of the Jiang clan could possess. Even in the entire Jiang clan, there were only 1 or 2 dragon-level weapons. As the clan's heirloom, only the patriarch could use it. Having been in Dragon Prison City for such a long time, Kang Shinmu had made great progress. What he was more worried about was what would happen if Ji Yishuan came to participate in the clan martial competition and saw him. Back then, in order to capture Xue Tianhu, Kang Shinmu was hired by the other party. He stepped into the Zhou Dragon's nether ruins and finally devoured the other party's Qitian spirit grass. Although the contingency plan was perfect, when Ji Yishuan saw Kang Shinmu again and knew that he was still alive, she could remember a lot of things. However, during the clan martial competition, it's impossible for her to make a move. As long as I get a high enough ranking in the clan martial competition and get an audience with Dragon King, even Ji Yishuan won't dare to make a move against me. Kang Shinmu was very clear about this. If he wanted to escape from Ji Yishuan's hands, he needed a stronger backer. Thus, Dragon King Qiu was the best choice. Of course, if Dragon King Qiu didn't appear, the Shi clan would be enough. In any case, the other party wouldn't dare to barge into the Shi clan residence to kill him. Chapter 39-25. Dragon Prison City. The clan martial competition was finally about to begin. 17 different clans from the Dragon Prison realm flew towards Dragon Prison City from the distant regions around it. Every clan was led by a clan leader, who was called Lord. In the past, Kang Shinmu's father, Jiang Zizai, was called Jiang Dragon Lord, or the current Jiang clan leader, Jiang Rong, was also called Jiang Dragon Lord. However, the current Jiang Dragon Lord was far inferior to Jiang Zizai. Back then, Jiang Zizai was personally received by the Dragon King and was a super genius whose name shook the entire Dragon Prison domain. Because of this, after Jiang Zizai had disappeared for 10 years, Jiang Rong had the opportunity to become the new Jiang clan leader and obtain the title, Jiang Dragon Lord. Of course, this title was only for internal use. For the other clans around the Dragon Prison domain, they would not recognize him as Jiang Dragon Lord, because his strength was far inferior to Jiang Zizai's. Even the Jiang Zizai from 10 years ago was much stronger than Jiang Rong. Not to mention Jiang Zizai, even when compared to the other clan leaders and dragon lords, Jiang Rong's strength was at the bottom. Because of this, the Jiang clan would be ridiculed by even more people in this year's clan martial competition. In Dragon Prisoner City, Jiang Rong led 7 or 8 elders of the Jiang clan and the geniuses of the younger generation who had become dragon warriors within 3 years to Dragon Prisoner City. They were preparing to participate in the clan martial competition and strive to obtain more benefits for the Jiang clan. The ranking in the clan martial competition would affect the distribution of cultivation resources for the next 3 years. It was of great significance and could even directly affect the rise and fall of a clan. Once they fell behind, it was very likely that they would fall further and further, gradually entering a state of decline. Jiang Liuxue, Jiang Fengqing, and Jiang Yuaning were among them. After such a long period of cultivation and training, Jiang Liuxue's temperament had become even colder. Her entire body was like ice and snow, emitting an aura that would make ordinary people tremble. Not long ago, she had finally stepped into the first level of the divine martial realm. As she had obtained the inherited blood essence of a heavenly dragon, her overall strength had surpassed the Jiang clan's dragon warriors from 2 years ago. 2 years ago, the dragon warriors of the Jiang clan were all inheritors of the true dragon blood essence. Although a few of them had reached the higher levels of the divine martial realm, such as the 3rd or even the 4th level, compared to Jiang Liuxue, their battle strength was much weaker. Moreover, for this year's clan martial competition, the Jiang clan had bestowed an earth dragon weapon to Jiang Liuxue, hoping that she would be able to obtain a better result. The pressure on our clan martial competition this time is extremely great. Even though Jiang Liuxue has risen to prominence, she has risen to prominence too late. She has only cultivated for less than a year. In the other clans, among the dragon warriors who awakened in the past 2 years, there are basically inheritors of the heavenly dragon blood. I'm afraid they are now at the 3rd or even the 4th level of the divine martial arts realm. It's too difficult to suppress these people. The people of the Jiang clan were all deeply worried. Ever since Jiang Zizai's disappearance, the Jiang clan had continued to decline. If not for Jiang Liuxue's rise, this year's clan martial competition would not even be held. A clan that had not awakened the heavenly dragon blood for 3 years in a row would be ridiculed by the entire dragon prison domain. Then, they would be relegated to last place, and not long after, they would be disqualified from owning that vast land. Among the people of the Jiang clan, most of them had worried expressions. Especially Jiang Yuaning, because after Kang Xinmu had left, there had been no news from him, which made her very worried. The people of the Jiang clan stepped into a restaurant. Inside the restaurant, there were many wandering dragon warriors. They were all excitedly discussing what had happened in Dragon Prison City. Hee hee. A few days ago, did you see the duel between the Shi clan and the Xia clan? Yes, I saw it. It was said that it was a battle between 2 young people. In fact, there was nothing much to see. The key was to use a dragon weapon as a bet. That's right. It was said that in the end, the kid from the Xia clan self-destructed, but the kid from the Shi clan survived. Sacred Dragon Shi Tao was so happy that he gave the dragon weapon to the kid. In the restaurant, there were people discussing the duel between the 2 great clans. A duel between juniors actually used a dragon weapon as a bet. The big clans of the dragon prison domain are indeed extraordinary. As the people of the Jiang clan passed by, they all felt the same way. A dragon weapon was a treasure of the Jiang clan. Only the patriarch had the right to use it. But in the dragon prison domain, it was used as a bet, and even given to a junior. It was enviable. But I heard that the kid from the Shi clan is not surnamed Shi. He's a kid from the outside. He just happened to save Sacred Dragon Shi Tao's 2 daughters. That's right. That kid is not even 17. He's already at the peak of the Dragon Ascension realm and has the heavenly dragon blood essence. His luck is really good. Now that he has obtained a dragon weapon, his future cultivation will be smooth sailing. Not just that. I heard that Sacred Dragon Shi Tao wants to betroth one of his daughters to him. The people of the Jiang clan did not care much about these words. They never would have thought that the youth they were talking about in the restaurant was someone who escaped from their Jiang clan. Jiang Yuaning only heard these words, but did not pay too much attention to it. After all, the life in Dragon Prison City was still too far away for her. With her strength, it was very likely that she would be eliminated in the preliminary round of the clan martial competition this time. After all, she was only at the 8th tier of the Dragon Ascension realm, and she was only an inheritor of the true dragon blood essence. If not for Jiang Yilei's death, we would have a greater chance of winning this clan tournament. Jiang Fengqing said lightly. She remembered that when Jiang Yilei died, there was a person beside him. That person was Kang Xinmu. She did not know where he was now. If Jiang Yilei did not die, he would at least be in existence of the divine martial realm, which would be of great help to the overall situation. What she did not know was that if Kang Xinmu had not been forced to leave, he could be said to be the strongest person to awaken in the Jiang clan in the past 3 years. Especially after obtaining the heavenly sacred halberd, his battle strength had soared. One had to know that among the younger generation participating in the clan tournament, which one possessed a dragon weapon? None at all. In the last clan martial competition, Ji tribe's Ji Yeshuan, due to her high talent, had obtained the Ji tribe's dragon-grade dragon weapon. She completely crushed the audience, and no dragon warrior could contend against her. This time, Ji Yeshuan could not participate because she had awakened for more than 3 years. Chapter 39-26. Although the Ji tribal clan did not have Ji Yishuan, because of the powerful battle results of Ji Yishuan in the last clan tournament, the Ji tribal clan had obtained a lot more cultivation resources than the other clans. Therefore, in the past 3 years, the Ji tribal clan had produced a lot of geniuses. There were a total of 14 true dragon blood inheritors who had reached the god martial realm, more than double the Jiang tribal clan's 6. Among them, the strongest were the 3 sky dragon blood inheritors. One of the inheritors of the sky dragon blood essence was almost as strong as Jiang Liushua, but the other 2 were already at the 3rd and 4th tier of the god martial arts realm. It could be said that in this year's clan martial competition, the Ji tribe was definitely a strong contender for first place. However, it did not mean that they would be able to secure first place, because there were still 2 other clans with equally strong overall strength. One of them was the Meng clan. The Meng clan had always been one of the strongest clans in the Dragon Prison domain. Although they were crushed by the super genius Ji Yishuan in the last clan martial competition, their overall strength was absolutely not to be underestimated. Even without a super genius like Ji Yishuan, it was very likely that the Meng clan would be able to obtain first place. This was because the Meng clan's territory was the largest. It was originally another dragon domain, but the dragon king of that dragon domain had died in battle and was taken in by the dragon prison domain as a clan. Compared to the Jiang tribal clan and the Ji tribal clan, the Meng clan had several times more dragon warriors. Under such circumstances, it was only natural that their overall strength was stronger. The other was the Zhang tribal clan. The Zhang tribal clan's overall strength was not as stable as the Meng clan, mainly because they did not have as many dragon warriors. However, the Zhang tribal clan had the most geniuses. In the dragon prison domain, the Zhang tribe had the most inheritors of the heavenly dragon blood essence. For example, in this year's clan tournament, the Zhang tribe had a total of 7 inheritors of the heavenly dragon's blood essence participating in the tournament. 4 of them were in the god martial arts realm, and the other 3 were in the dragon ascension realm. Their overall strength was not inferior to the Meng tribe. In the clan martial competition, each clan has 20 slots to participate in the competition. They will choose the strongest dragon warrior that has awakened within 3 years. Basically, every clan will have 2 or 3 inheritors of the sky dragon blood essence participating in every clan tournament. But this time, the Zhang clan actually has 7. Other than that, the Meng clan also has 4. The other clans have about the same number. The Jiang clan only has 1 heavenly dragon blood essence inheritor participating. What a joke, ah! Many people were discussing about the clan martial competition this time. To the dragon warriors of the dragon prison city, the clan martial competition wasn't a big deal. After all, compared to the dragon warriors of the dragon prison city, there wouldn't be any dazzling geniuses appearing in the clan. However, after all, it was possible for a super genius like Ji Yishuan to appear. Therefore, every clan martial competition was able to attract many people to watch. Among them, the major clans of Dragon Prison City would all come. For example, the Shi clan mansion, the Xia clan mansion, and a few other mansions would all send people over. If there were any talents, they could try to rope them in. Who knows, the other party might leave their original clan and choose to join the mansions here. In an instant, the experts of the various clans in the Dragon Prison domain who had awakened within 3 years had all gathered in Dragon Prison City. Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying left the Shi clan mansion together. He had inquired about the location of the Jiang clan, so he wanted to go there and let the Jiang clan submit his name to participate in the clan martial competition. Originally, Kang Xinmu wanted to go alone, but Shi Yueying insisted on following him, so he let her be. After Xia Tianhan's duel ended, Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying continued to spar. This time, it was no longer a simple self-mutilating training, but Kang Xinmu was familiarizing himself with the other dragon martial skills, including the sky-piercing dragon roar and the howling sky dragon claw. He had already comprehended these 2 dragon martial skills to the earth level, but compared to some of the experts participating in the clan martial competition, the 5th grade dragon martial skill of the dragon level was nothing. Many clans had 4th grade dragon martial skills, and the top geniuses were all able to cultivate 4th grade dragon martial skills. Moreover, those dragon warriors who had awakened 2 years earlier might have already raised their dragon martial skills to the dragon level. If that was the case, the gap between them and the earth level would be too great. Especially those experts who were participating in the clan martial competition. Many of the inheritors of the heavenly dragon blood essence had awakened 2 years ago, and were now at the 3rd or 4th level of the divine martial realm. Just by relying on their own strength, they were able to crush people like Kang Shinmu. Therefore, it was still very difficult for the current Kang Shinmu to soar in the clan martial competition. Even with the dragon-level dragon weapon, the heavenly sacred halberd, he was still unable to defeat the strongest heavenly dragon blood essence dragon martial artists. Therefore, Kang Shinmu was basically cultivating at all times while being chased and beaten by Shi Yueying. After Shi Yueying obtained the dragon-level dragon weapon, the Ice Origin Spirit Wheel, her overall strength had also skyrocketed. She was already able to threaten Kang Shinmu without using the heavenly sacred halberd. Therefore, she was able to continuously activate the dragon martial skill and coordinate it with the Ice Origin Spirit Wheel, completely injuring the current Kang Shinmu. Under such a threat, Kang Shinmu fled at his fastest speed, constantly activating the sky-piercing dragon shadow. Shi Yueying chased after him and attacked him with all her strength, not holding back at all. It even made Kang Shinmu feel the threat of being heavily injured. Under such a state, his sky-piercing dragon shadow improved at an extremely fast speed. However, even so, this dragon martial skill was still a long way from reaching the dragon level. I'm afraid it will be very difficult to improve it before the clan martial competition. Let's not worry about it for now. There are still 7 days before the clan martial competition officially begins. Let's get the quota first. The two of them walked towards the inn where the Jiang clan was staying. Coincidentally, at the entrance of the inn, 2 women walked out. They were Jiang Yuaning and Jiang Fengqing. They wanted to go out for a stroll in the dragon prison city. Seeing a man and a woman walking towards them, the 2 women couldn't help but be stunned. Why did that youth look like someone they hadn't seen for a long time? Yuaning, what a coincidence. When Kang Shinmu saw the 2 of them, he ignored Jiang Fengqing and only greeted Jiang Yuaning. In the Jiang clan, if Kang Shinmu had any friends, it would be Jiang Yuaning. As for Jiang Fengqing, Kang Shinmu completely disregarded her because the reason he was forced out by the Jiang clan was also related to this woman. Jiang, Kang Shinmu, it's you? When Jiang Yuaning heard his voice, she finally confirmed his identity. Her face immediately lit up. Chapter 39-27. Kang Shinmu introduced, her name is Shi Yueying, she's my friend. Shi Yueying was rather cold in front of outsiders. She only nodded slightly and did not say a word. When Jiang Fengqing saw Kang Shinmu and the girl he had brought, her eyes turned cold. Kang Shinmu, where have you been these days? Do you still think of yourself as a member of the Jiang tribe? Kang Shinmu did not expect her to speak in such a manner. He coldly snorted, what has that got to do with you? Then, Kang Shinmu turned to Jiang Yuaning, Yuaning, is Jiang Rong here? Yes, he's up there. Jiang Yuaning did not know why, but she was not in a good mood. Jiang Fengqing sneered, is the name of the patriarch something you can call? Since you don't think of yourself as a member of the Jiang tribe, why are you looking for us? Can you be quiet? Shi Yueying finally could not stand it any longer. She coldly said. Suddenly, an icy aura emanated, causing Jiang Fengqing to shiver. Jiang Fengqing was already at the divine martial realm, but in front of Shi Yueying's cold aura, she was still penetrated. A chill struck her heart, making her look aghast. One had to know that Jiang Fengqing was nearly 30 years old. And Shi Yueying was only 18 or 19. In the Jiang tribal clan, to become a dragon warrior at the age of 18 or 19 was already considered a genius among geniuses. Not to mention, Shi Yueying could already make her feel a chill, which meant that Shi Yueying's overall strength was definitely not weaker than hers. What was the identity of this girl? Jiang Fengqing did not immediately think of the Shi tribe, because an existence like the Shi tribe was too powerful and too far away. If Jiang Fengqing had caught the eye of any tribe in Dragon Prison City, she would definitely be willing to join them. After all, developing in Dragon Prison City, the cultivation resources and connections were much better than in the Jiang tribe. It was even more beneficial for her own development. So, she had never thought that Kang Xinmu would become friends with the Shi tribe. Jiang Fengqing finally shut up. At this time, Kang Xinmu and Jiang Yuaning could finally speak properly. Where have you been these days? What happened? Is everything all right? Jiang Yuaning was worried about Kang Xinmu, so she immediately asked. Not bad. Although we encountered some danger, we were able to turn misfortune into fortune in the end. Kang Xinmu briefly explained, then said, this time, I've come to find Jiang Rong. I want him to report my name and represent the Jiang clan in the clan martial competition. At the mention of Jiang Rong, Kang Xinmu's eyes flashed with killing intent. As his uncle, Jiang Rong actually wanted to kill him. It was really incomprehensible, so Kang Xinmu wanted to let him know that even a newly awakened dragon warrior was not someone he could casually bully. One day, Kang Xinmu would grow into a dragon and return to him, dragging him down from the Jiang clan patriarch throne. The clan martial competition was such an opportunity. The patriarch is up there. Follow me. Originally, Jiang Yuaning wanted to go out for a stroll, but since Kang Xinmu was here, she didn't want to go out. She wanted to stay with Kang Xinmu for a while longer. After all, as friends, they had not seen each other for a long time and had been missing each other. The three walked towards the inn. Jiang Fengqing turned and followed. She sneered and reminded them, the patriarch is currently receiving guests. If you go now, you'll be asking for trouble. She had already foreseen the scene of the three returning dejectedly. She felt disdain in her heart. How could the patriarch allow Kang Xinmu to participate in the clan martial competition? Kang Xinmu did not care about Jiang Fengqing's words. He wanted to fight for time to cultivate, so he came here today to settle the matter. Even if Jiang Rong was receiving guests, it had nothing to do with him. In any case, he came to find Jiang Rong to cause trouble. Yuaning, what are you doing? In a private room of the inn, a Jiang clan elder was guarding the door. Seeing Jiang Yuaning come in with people, he couldn't help but frown. Lord Patriarch is receiving guests. Didn't you say you wanted to go out for a stroll? Elder, Kang Xinmu has returned. He wants to participate in the clan martial competition. Jiang Yuaning said directly with a happy tone. Kang Xinmu? Jiang Zizai's son. Hearing this, the Jiang clan elder frowned. He turned his head and saw Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying. He immediately felt unhappy. Didn't he go missing? How strong is he now? He wants to participate in the clan martial competition. Peak of the Dragon Ascension Realm. Kang Xinmu said bluntly. The Jiang clan has a total of 20 participants. The weakest among them is at the peak of the Dragon Ascension Realm. It's impossible for you to replace him. The elder directly sneered. I am at the peak of the Dragon Ascension Realm. If Kang Xinmu wants to participate, he can replace me. Jiang Yuaning quickly said. No. The elder firmly shook his head. Patriarch will never agree. Kang Xinmu, go back to where you came from. You are not welcome here. Besides, Patriarch is receiving guests and has no time to see you. Kang Xinmu frowned. He had expected this situation, but he didn't expect it to be more difficult than he had imagined. He originally wanted to see Jiang Rong first, but now he couldn't even see Jiang Rong. Then take a look at this. Kang Xinmu said lightly and took out the Heavenly Saint's halberd. The halberd emitted a golden light and illuminated the entire inn's corridor. Dragon-level dragon weapon. The elder and Jiang Yuaning's eyes suddenly changed. Jiang Yuaning was pleasantly surprised. She didn't expect Kang Xinmu to have a dragon-level dragon weapon. It seemed that he had suffered a lot recently. The elder's eyes lit up, and greed flashed in his eyes. It really is a dragon-level dragon weapon. Jiang Fengqing followed behind them and was immediately dazzled by the golden light. Her eyes revealed desire and jealousy. How could a dragon-level dragon weapon appear in Kang Xinmu's hands? This kid, what kind of dog shit luck did he have? Patriarch, there's something I need to report. The elder suppressed his greed and quickly turned around, knocking on the door of the inn's private room. What's the matter? Can't you see I'm discussing business with a guest? Jiang Rong's voice came from the private room, mixed with obvious dissatisfaction. Jiang Longjun, if there's something, just go out and deal with it. At this moment, a graceful and luxurious voice of a man rang out lazily from the private room. This person should be the guest. But when Shi Yueying heard this, she immediately found it funny. Didn't this guy's voice belong to the supervisor of a chamber of commerce under the Shi residence? Usually, when he saw her, he would call her little princess. Chapter 39-28. After receiving the approval of the guest, Jiang Rong dared to come out and deal with the matters outside. What's the matter that makes you so flustered? How can you behave in front of a guest? Jiang Rong scolded the elder as soon as he came out, but before he could finish, he saw Kang Xinmu and Shi Yueying in front of him, as well as the heavenly sacred halberd in Kang Xinmu's hand that was flashing with a golden light. This made Jiang Rong shocked. His first thought was, why would Kang Xinmu appear here? Secondly, the dragon weapon in that brat's hand was clearly a dragon-grade weapon. What was he planning to do by taking it out so brazenly? What's going on? Kang Xinmu, where have you been these days? You don't consider yourself a member of the Jiang clan at all? Jiang Rong's face suddenly turned serious as he coldly snorted at Kang Xinmu. You know what you've done. Kang Xinmu was expressionless as he said, this is a dragon-grade dragon weapon. With this dragon-grade dragon weapon, I request to represent the Jiang clan in the clan tournament. What do you think? Impudent. Jiang Rong's face hardened. Do you think that you can participate in the clan tournament just because you want to? These days, you haven't been in the Jiang clan at all. We know nothing about your experiences, so there's no way we can trust you. If you want to participate in the clan tournament, there's a way to prove your loyalty to the clan. As long as you hand over the dragon-grade dragon weapon, you can naturally participate in the clan tournament. As he said this, Jiang Rong's eyes revealed a hint of greed. Although he was the patriarch and could use the Jiang clan's ancestral dragon weapon, there was no doubt that if he could have a personal dragon-grade dragon weapon, it would be a great breakthrough for him. The Jiang clan elder immediately prostrated himself in admiration. To obtain the dragon-grade dragon weapon from Kang Xinmu, the patriarch had actually thought of such a method. It was truly wise. If he didn't hand over the dragon-grade dragon weapon, he wouldn't be allowed to participate in the clan tournament. And since he was here, even if he didn't want to participate in the clan tournament and wanted to leave, how could he just leave like that? Since you're here, don't think about leaving so easily. The Jiang clan elder snorted in his heart and began to prevent Kang Xinmu from escaping. He decided that once Kang Xinmu showed signs of retreating, he would immediately act and intercept him. Yo, great clan chief Jiang Rong is so impressive. When Kang Xinmu heard this, he immediately sneered, I want to participate in the clan martial competition to win glory for the Jiang clan and obtain more cultivation resources for the clan. Yet, you obstruct me in every possible way. Do you not place the clan's interests in your eyes? How can such actions be worthy of the title of Jiang Longjun? Is it up to a junior like you to tell me what to do? Jiang Rong coldly snorted as a fierce light flashed in his eyes. Today, you have to hand it over whether you want to or not. No matter what, since this dragon-grade dragon weapon is already in your hands, you have the obligation to hand it over to the Jiang clan. Let the Jiang clan keep it for you so that it can bring the greatest benefit to the clan. This high-sounding statement made Kang Xinmu unable to hold back his laughter. Shi Yueying, who was listening at the side, also felt uncomfortable. She frowned. This Jiang clan's clan chief, Jiang Longjun, was too shameless. It was said that Jiang Longjun was a peerless genius. He was even granted an audience by the Dragon King, but he later disappeared. Who would have thought that after 10 years, the current Jiang Longjun would be so shameless? He was a disgrace to the Jiang clan. So, you don't plan on letting me participate in the clan martial competition, nor do you plan on letting me leave. Instead, you want to snatch the dragon-grade dragon weapon from my hands, right? Kang Xinmu lightly said, directly making his words clear. I'm afraid that even if you have the life to snatch the dragon-grade dragon weapon, you won't have the life to use it. Jiang Rong disdainfully said, do you think you can do anything to me? If you want to know the truth behind your father's disappearance, then obediently hand over the dragon-grade dragon weapon. Otherwise, don't even think of seeing your father again. Oh. Kang Xinmu frowned. You know what happened to my father? Shi Yueying became curious after hearing this. She didn't know what Kang Xinmu's family background was like, so now that Jiang Rong mentioned his father, she pricked up her ears to listen. Hand over the dragon-grade dragon weapon and I'll tell you something. Jiang Rong coldly snorted. You first. Kang Xinmu, of course, wouldn't be fooled. His father's disappearance was related to the black dragon's blood essence. If Jiang Rong knew the details, then it was impossible that he didn't know the details of Kang Xinmu's talent. Either Jiang Rong was lying to him, or Jiang Rong only knew the gist of it. It was naturally impossible for Kang Xinmu to hand over the halberd of Heavenly Saint. As a member of the Jiang clan, even if you are the clan chief, shouldn't you tell me about the disappearance of a junior's father? Shi Yueying coldly said, if you act like this, what kind of clan chief are you? How can you be worthy of the name Jiang Longjun? What does the matters of our Jiang clan have to do with an outsider like you? Jiang Rong looked at Shi Yueying with cold sweat, his eyes filled with contempt. Just a little girl. Did Kang Xinmu get to know her outside? The matters of our Jiang clan don't need you to care. If you know what's good for you, get lost. Otherwise, if we fight later, I'm afraid you'll be reduced to ashes. How impressive, to want to kill someone in Dragon Prison City. Shi Yueying suddenly sneered. At this time, there was no need for her reminder. The guest in the private room had already heard her voice. How could he still dare to watch the show? A slightly plump middle-aged man suddenly rushed out of the private room with a panicked expression. Io, my miss, why are you here? You must be little brother Jiang. I didn't expect little brother Jiang to be from the Jiang clan. Sorry for not recognizing you. The fat man was the supervisor of the Shi clan's Chamber of Commerce, so of course he knew Shi Yueying. As the daughter of sacred dragon Shi Tao, a single word from Shi Yueying could make him, the supervisor, lose his head. He was completely dumbfounded. He never expected that Miss Shi Yueying would come to this place with Kang Xinmu to find Jiang Rong. Supervisor Shi Yu, Jiang Rong and the Jiang clan elder looked at the middle-aged fat man respectfully facing Shi Yueying and Kang Xinmu. They were immediately puzzled. What was going on? You, why aren't you kneeling down and apologizing? The fat supervisor Shi immediately scolded. What nonsense did you just say? Reduce the mist to ashes? If this gets out, I'm afraid you won't even see tomorrow's sun. Do you know who this is? Dragon Prison City, the miss of the Shi clan residence. You're tuning in to the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.